Chapter 399. However, at this moment, this person who was full of pride and arrogance felt that death was right in front of her for the first time. If she had whistled just now, she would have been killed by Li Zongjio. Until now, Qi Yanran still did not know who the man in front of her was. If you cooperate with me, I won't kill you. Li Zongjio came in front of Qi Yanran. It was not until this moment that Qi Yanran saw Li Zongjio's appearance clearly. He was just a young boy, but his eyes seemed to be weather-beaten, and could see through everything in the world. However, what Qi Yanran saw most clearly was Li Zongjio's chest. It was the symbol of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor. You are from the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor. Qi Yanran was surprised. Relatively speaking, the students of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, who came to the Four Seas Medicine Manor, naturally became guests. However, now this guest had done such a thing, which was simply unbelievable. Since she knew Li Zongjio's identity, it was much easier to deal with him. No matter how deep he hid, Qi Yanran could find him and take revenge for today's incident. Therefore, she temporarily endured it and waited to see what this kid wanted to do. If it was too much, she would not let Li Zongjio succeed. Qi Yanran was lying on the ground. Li Zongjio bent down and suddenly grabbed Qi Yanran's wrist. The vast flying knife gently cut Qi Yanran's wrist. What are you doing? Qi Yanran suddenly exclaimed. However, the stinging pain from her wrist made Qi Yanran frown and suck in a breath of cold air. She had an amulet. If she was stimulated by the outside world, it would automatically activate. However, in front of Li Zongjio's flying knife, it did not trigger any reaction. After her wrist was cut, Li Zongjio used a jade bottle to catch the blood. During this period, her wrist was still held by Li Zongjio. Qi Yanran had never imagined that her body, which had never been touched by a man, would not only be held tightly by her wrist today, but also be cut by him. What kind of person was this? He did not know what it meant to have tender feelings for a woman. Qi Yanran's wrist was bleeding for a while, but the wound on her wrist quickly healed itself. After all, she was a Yuanzhong realm expert. In addition, she was also an alchemist and would usually take some elixirs. Therefore, her body's self-healing ability was also full of strong medicinal power. Seeing this, Li Zongjio did not hesitate to make a cut. Qi Yanran wished she could push Li Zongjio directly into the dung bucket. Not only did he cut her once, but now he even cut her a second time. Qi Yanran was in great pain. Was he treating her like a beast that would bleed blood? In the process, Li Zongjio filled half of the bottle in his hand and walked directly to the medicinal spring. What are you trying to do? This kind of sacred spring cannot be tarnished. When Qi Yanran saw Li Zongjio walking towards the medicinal spring, she suddenly became nervous. Could it be that Li Zongjio wanted to destroy this medicinal spring? She was able to possess such talent today because of this medicinal spring. If it was tarnished, wouldn't Qi Yanran's future be ruined? Naturally, she was very nervous. Sacred spring? I'm afraid you're out of your mind. Li Zongjio sneered, then threw the bottle in his hand into the medicinal spring. At the same time, the power of the obsidian fire was hidden in the bottle. Stop it! Qi Yanran wanted to stop Li Zongjio. She flew towards the medicinal spring, but Li Zongjio unceremoniously waved his palm. With a terrifying yuan power, he directly sent Qi Yanran flying. With a bang, he fell to the ground and rolled around. He didn't hold back at all in this move. It was a real move. Lie down. If you make any more noise, I'll kill you. It was the first time that Qi Yanran saw someone looking at her with such a fierce gaze. At this moment, she was reduced from a lofty and ethereal fairy to a person that Li Zongjio could manipulate at will. You're courting death. Qi Yanran was ready to kill Li Zongjio at all costs to regain her dignity. However, at this moment, she saw the changes in the medicinal spring. The bottle that was originally floating above suddenly sank. After it sank, a huge explosion suddenly erupted at the bottom of the medicinal spring. Boom! No sound was emitted from this explosion. However, one could clearly sense the vibrations coming from underground. At the same time, a cluster of light erupted from the medicinal spring. It was as if the entire medicinal spring had been illuminated. Qi Yanran also clearly saw that at the bottom of the medicinal spring, there was a huge shadow. It was actually a huge shadow. The moment Qi Yinran saw the shadow, she immediately felt a lingering fear in her heart. There was actually such a monster hiding at the bottom of the medicinal spring. What is that? 1,000-year blood medicine bug. You're lucky that you haven't been eaten for so long. You're really fierce. You even dared to jump into such a medicinal spring. Li Zongjiu also looked at the pale-faced Qi Yinran with admiration. The blood medicine bug had been hiding at the bottom of the medicinal spring. However, now that it was blown up by Li Zongjiu, it was extremely angry and immediately floated out of the water. Splash! It looked like a caterpillar, but its body was extremely smooth, so it could subdue in the water. This was the effect of the blood medicine bug. If the blood medicine bug was soaked in water, it would merge with the water, causing the surrounding water to have a medicinal property. This medicinal liquid was also very easy to absorb. Some primitive emperors would also soak the blood medicine bug in water, and then refine some medicinal liquids with medicinal properties. These medicinal liquids were also very magical when used for healing and cultivation. However, the blood medicine bug was often hidden very deep, and was very rare. If Li Zongjiu's mental strength had not sensed the abnormality of this place, he would not have known that there was a blood medicine bug in the depths of the Four Seas Herb Mountain. For an expert, the medicinal liquid soaked in the blood medicine bug had the effect of cultivating. However, for some people with insufficient cultivation, soaking in such an environment for a long time, just like Qi Yinran, slowly, the blood in Qi Yinran's body would also gradually absorb a kind of poison. The existence of this poison would slowly devour the blood in Qi Yinran's body. A highly toxic poison would be formed in her blood. In the end, she would not be able to leave the medicinal spring. Once she left the medicinal spring, all kinds of symptoms would appear. She would either have to change the blood in her body, or stay in the medicinal spring obediently, and be slowly devoured by the blood medicine bug. The blood medicine bug that rushed out was extremely angry. As a blood medicine bug that had cultivated for thousands of years, it could recognize Li Zongjiu at a glance. Because the other person had the aura of its blood medicine bug, the person who attacked must be this human boy. Immediately, the blood medicine bug rushed towards Li Zongjiu. Li Zongjiu sneered. A mere blood medicine bug, with a combat strength of 5, dared to take the initiative to attack him. With a light flick of the flying knife in his hand, it immediately turned into a streamer and rushed forward. Whoosh! The flying knife circled around, and easily pierced into the blood medicinal worm's body. It rotated in the blood medicinal worm's body, and with a ding sound, a sparkling and translucent crystal flew out from the worm's body. Swoosh! Li Zongjiu caught the crystal in his hand. The blood medicine bug's body also fell to the ground with a loud bang. Bang! Its huge body fell to the ground. This corpse is a good thing. If I sell it in the black market, I can at least get a good price. Li Zongjiu waved his hand, and kept the blood medicine bug in his storage ring. Its huge body disappeared. Li Zongjiu came here because he wanted the blood medicine bug's crystal. This crystal was one of the materials he needed to refine a grade 6 elixir. The blood medicine bug could only be found by chance. Therefore, after discovering it, Li Zongjiu did not let it go. Under normal circumstances, the blood medicine bug would definitely be hidden at the bottom of the medicinal spring. If he wanted to jump down to catch it, it would obviously take a lot of effort. However, by using Qi Yinran's blood as a lure, the blood medicine bug would think that someone killed its offspring. Therefore, Qi Yinran's blood had such an effect. The blood medicine bug valued its offspring very much. If something happened, it would definitely not sit back and do nothing. If it did not show itself, it would be killed by Li Zongjiu. In comparison, the blood medicine bug's combat power was not as strong as the moon-howling Heavenly Wolf King. At the very least, the moon-howling Heavenly Wolf King was able to hold on for a while. Even if Li Zongjiu used the vast flying knife, he might not be able to kill the moon-howling Heavenly Wolf King easily. This showed that he had a certain level of strength. I'm done with my business. If you want to take a bath, do as you wish, Li Zongjiu said indifferently. Then he turned around and left. Qi Yinran was furious. This brat suddenly rushed out and bullied her. Now he wanted to leave as if nothing had happened. Where would Qi Yanran put her face? However, if she wanted to stop Li Zongjio, she would not be his opponent even if they fought. Speaking of bullying, Li Zongjio could be considered to have saved her life. If he did not appear today, Qi Yanran would have died here sooner or later. Even now, it would not be easy to remove the blood poison in her body. Do you dare to leave your name? Qi Yanran, who was anxious, quickly said. Why wouldn't I dare? I'm Li Zongjio. Chapter 400. Li Zongjio gained a lot in one night. He left the herb mountain directly, and quietly returned to his room in the inn. Just as Li Zongjio left, two figures quickly flew to Qi Yanran's side. The original medicinal spring was already a little messy. There were also some water stains and some blood stains that had spread out around it. It was the smell of blood that attracted the two elders. Miss, are you all right? Originally, when Qi Yanran cultivated here, there would occasionally be some breakthroughs, so there would often be some vibrations around here. This was a very normal thing. The two elders were guarding the entrance. They had absolute confidence that no outsider could easily get close to this place. However, when they arrived here, they found that the surrounding atmosphere was a little chaotic. Obviously, something must have happened before. It's okay. This medicinal spring is useless to me, Qi Yanran said lightly. Naturally, she could not tell them that she had just been beaten by a man here. The most important thing was that this man had just saved her life. No one would believe such a bizarre experience. Moreover, how could she casually say such a shameful thing? Qi Yanran was a noble person. That arrogant and shameless man named Li Zongjio dared to treat her like this. It's okay. It's okay. The two elders looked at each other. Although they knew that something must have happened here, since Qi Yanran did not say anything, they did not continue to ask. Qi Yanran also left directly. Since this medicinal spring was useless, it was a waste of time to continue to stay here. The two elders could also take a rest. Qi Yanran returned to her room and tried to force the poison out of her body. However, she did not feel any effective effect. With my strength, there is no way to get rid of the poison for myself. When Qi Yanran carefully checked the blood in her body, she found that something was wrong. The blood poison was hidden very deeply. Fortunately, she found it in time. If she had been a little later, it would have spread to all the blood vessels in her body. At this moment, Qi Yanran temporarily controlled the poison. However, it was impossible for her to force the poison out of her body with her ability. As Li Zongjio said, she had to drain all the blood in her body. Draining the blood. How could this happen? Therefore, Qi Yanran was having a headache. That night, she was also in the library of the Four Seas Medicine Mansion. She flipped through the ancient books, trying to find some information about the blood medicine bug. When Qi Yanran read some information about the blood medicine bug, she really realized how powerful it was. It was invisible and colorless, and it was addictive. There was no way to leave the medicinal spring produced by the blood medicine bug. Recently, Qi Yanran had such a feeling. In the past, it was once every 7 days. Later on, it was once every 5 days, once every 3 days. Now she needed to soak in the medicinal spring every day to practice. Although she knew that there might be some danger in it, she did not expect it to be so terrifying. That guy really did save me. Qi Yanran was surprised, but after she closed the book, her eyes became indifferent again. It was true that Li Zongjio had saved her, but it was also true that he had beaten her. Moreover, it was also true that Li Zongjio did not put her in his eyes. Based on this point alone, she absolutely could not let Li Zongjio go. Heavenly Star Medicine Mansion. I think you should also be here to participate in the competition. Tomorrow, I want to see what kind of means you have. A cold light flashed in Qi Yanran's eyes. When a woman was serious, it was very terrifying. Now if she wanted to target Li Zongjio, then Li Zongjio's end would not be good. Originally, Qi Yanran was not very interested in this kind of competition. From the performance of today's competition, it was already clear. Even if Qi Yanran won, it was just a feeling of being able to do whatever she wanted. If she wanted to get a better result, she could easily achieve it. The second day. Today's competition could be said to be quite exciting. A total of 10 contestants from the 3 major academies entered the second round of the competition. In the second round, it would also be a one-on-one competition. The winner would be able to enter the next round. As for the academies, they would need to enter the third round. In the end, they would be ranked according to their accumulated points. The first place would receive 5 points, the second place would receive 4 points, and so on. The fifth place would receive 1 point. The points of the various academies were summed up, and the final result of the rankings of the 3 major academies would be determined by the total points. The second round was extremely important. If the number of people who advanced in the second round was not enough, or if all of them were from the Heavenly Star Medicine Mansion, then there was no need to compete in the third round. At least 2 people had to advance. If not, then the last person left would have to get the first place in order to have a chance of winning. Everything was possible. On the second day, the venue was already packed with people. In fact, the number of people today was twice as much as the previous day. The reason was that some people who were on leave, or had connections in the Four Seas Medicine Manor, had directly brought people in to watch the competition. The first day was relatively boring. The second day would definitely be a clash between various kinds of blades and swords. Neither side was willing to give an inch. Everyone was also randomly drawn. In such a way, there was a possibility that they would be drawn against each other. Moreover, in the upcoming 5 groups of competition, the elixirs that were to be refined were of the metal, wood, water, fire, and earth attributes. It was naturally very difficult to refine elixirs of these attributes. Every alchemist had their own attributes that they were good at. For example, Kuan Erishur was good at refining elixirs of the metal attribute. Because his yuan power and original spirit were inclined towards this attribute, if he could refine a metal attribute elixir, it would be beneficial to his own cultivation. Naturally, he would also put his effort into refining metal attribute elixirs. Li Zongjio casually drew a piece of paper with the word "wood" written on it. Coincidentally, Qi Yanran, who was standing opposite Li Zongjio, was also looking at Li Zongjio with a meaningful gaze. Today, I will let you know how powerful I really am, Qi Yanran thought in her heart. Recalling the scene last night, Qi Yanran wished she could cut Li Zongjio into pieces. Inside the box, there was naturally some manipulation. What appeared in Qi Yanran's hand was also a token with the word "wood." You look a little familiar? When Li Zongjio looked at Qi Yanran, he always felt a sense of familiarity, but he couldn't remember where he had seen her before. Just familiar? I remember your name, Li Zongjio. Qi Yanran would never forget this name in her life. She hated the latter to the bone and gnashed her teeth. That is Li Zongjio's name. Even if his whole body rots, he will never forget this name. Oh, it's you. Li Zongjio suddenly looked at Qi Yanran in surprise. It turned out that the person who was bathing in the medicinal spring last night was the person in front of him. No wonder she looked familiar. However, it was dark at that time, and Li Zongjio's goal was the blood medicine bug, so he didn't pay much attention to this woman. Among the contestants from Heavenly Star Medicine Mansion, it just so happened that Shui Yu and Mu Qingyan were fighting, and Emo Suli was fighting against Nye Tianhong from Purple Pill Academy. It was unknown whether it was intentional or just an accident. The disciple of Dan King against the Medicine Sovereign. Such a battle would definitely become the focal point of everyone's attention. These 2 people were not only fighting for themselves, but they were also fighting for the reputation of their teachers. If they were to lose, their teachers would naturally be suppressed by the other party in terms of aura. Kuan Arashi's luck was not bad. His opponent was Jiang Biyuan, who was the second strongest person in the Four Seas Medicine Mansion. Kuan Erishur was also the second strongest person in the Heavenly Star Medicine Mansion, second only to Li Zongjio. However, Kuan Erishur usually kept a low profile. If he defeated Kuan Erishur today, his name would be known by the Four Seas Medicine Mansion. Kuan Erishur naturally wouldn't give up such an opportunity. Meng Yu from Purple Pill Academy against Lu Zhao from Purple Pill Academy. Without a doubt, Meng Yu was about to win, but for Lu Zhao, it was also an opportunity. He would get a chance to prove himself. On this stage, there were many interesting things to see if he could directly fight against Meng Yu. The list of matches had been prepared. The first match was between Li Zongjio and Qi Yanran. The content of the match was the refinement of what attribute elixirs. You have to be careful. Don't be careless. Qi Yanran's Qi family has inherited the what attribute and has the advantage. It won't be easy to win. Yang Xuelin couldn't help but say. Li Zongjio looked indifferent, which made Yang Xuelin worried. After all, they had a fight between their own people. And the other people's opponents were also quite strong. It could be said that it would be difficult for them to win. The top expert of the Four Seas Medicine Mansion, Qi Yanran. When Qi Yanran went on stage, the Four Seas Medicine Mansion was filled with earth-shattering cheers. Without exception, they were all supporting their goddess, Qi Yanran, who was like a fairy. Li Zongjio also walked up to the alchemy platform. I saw that kid's strength yesterday. It's not worth mentioning at all. Goddess will win. Goddess is number one. Even if one didn't listen carefully, one could hear that some people were even belittling Li Zongjio. In their eyes, Li Zongjio was no match for their goddess. However, how could these crazy people know that the night before, an ordinary kid had beaten up their goddess on the Four Seas Herb Mountain? He had even watched her bathe while he was at it. If these people knew about this, half of them would probably go crazy. The other half might even choose to commit suicide. Li Zongjio, you better win. If you do, I'll give you a chance to humiliate you in front of so many people. I want to humiliate you. When he said this, Meng Yu's heart was filled with excitement. He couldn't wait to thoroughly humiliate Li Zongjio. Unfortunately, the first match wasn't between him and Li Zongjio. Chapter 401. Yesterday's hatred. Today I will pay you back double. Qi Yanran looked at Li Zongjio opposite her. She had always been calm, but in front of Li Zongjio, she could no longer remain calm. I saved you yesterday, Li Zongjio said. In Li Zongjio's view, it was indeed he who saved Qi Yanran. If he hadn't saved her in time, she would have died in a short time without knowing how she died. If Li Zongjio had saved her in another way, Qi Yanran would have been very grateful to Li Zongjio. She would have even changed her view of Li Zongjio. It was not impossible for her to make Li Zongjio her friend. However, Li Zongjio chose such a violent way, which she believed that not many girls could accept. Moreover, compared to kindness, girls were better at holding grudges. Cut the crap. You'll regret everything you did yesterday. I regret it now. If I had known, I would have waited for you to die before killing that thing. Li Zongjio helplessly waved his hand. If he had known this, he would have waited for this guy to die first. Now he even came to trouble him. Wasn't he looking for trouble? You. Hearing Li Zongjio's words, Qi Yanran almost clenched her fists and rushed up. However, in the end, she abruptly turned around and returned to her position, ready to start refining. The people below looked at the man and woman on the alchemy table, who seemed to be communicating with each other. However, their voices were relatively low, so no one could hear them. However, from the looks of the two people, it could be seen that they were flirting with each other like a young couple. Especially when Qi Yanran clenched her small fist and almost rushed up to punch Li Zongjio's chest. In the eyes of everyone, this was simply amazing. My God, he is simply my idol. How did the boss hook up with Qi Yanran? Kuan Erasure was convinced by Li Zongjio. He was completely convinced. Li Zongjio had only been here for a day, but Qi Yanran, who was opposite him, had a love-hate relationship with him. That's right, it was this kind of love-hate gaze. Kuan Erasure could clearly see that it was that kind of gaze. Because when he was young, his mother would basically use that kind of gaze every night when she chased his father out of the room. He's really powerful. That look in his eyes, there must be a story behind it. Mu Qingyun's thoughts were the same as Kuan Arashi's. If nothing happened, then it would be too fake. It was hard to believe. He couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. This Li Zongjio's methods were indeed brilliant. Even if he were to lose this match, if he could bring back the #1 genius pill refiner of the Four Seas Medicine Manor, he would definitely make a profit out of it. All of you stop making wild guesses. Yang Xuelin was flustered and exasperated. What kind of situation was this? They were actually still gossiping about this matter. Moreover, they even said that even if they were to lose, they would still win. This simply angered her to death. On the other hand, and Mosuli had already begun to adjust his state of mind. For the next match, he could be said to be quite attentive. No matter what, he couldn't miss this opportunity. He had to win, and he had to win beautifully. Shuiyu didn't care. Anyway, the opponent was one of their own. Losing wouldn't be shameful. Moreover, even if Shuiyu went all out, she still wouldn't be able to win against Mu Qingyin. However, Shuiyu also pulled Mu Qingyin to the side and whispered something. "Hey Mu Qingyin, give me 100 million purple yuan. How about I pretend to lose to you later?" These words made Mu Qingyin unable to react for a moment. This was clearly a match that you would lose. Why would I give you money? This was clearly a shameless way of extortion. And this sentence was obviously heard by Yang Xuelin. She immediately jumped out and interrupted the secret transaction between the two. "Shuiyu, don't believe that guy Li Zongjio. He's cheating you." It was related to Li Zongjio again. Moreover, it seemed to be a case of fraud. Mu Qingyin couldn't help but think highly of Li Zongjio's strength. This guy was really awesome. On the alchemy platform, Qi Yinran operated her own elemental formula. In an instant, the surrounding environment was like a spring shower. The wordwood was full of vitality. Qi family's evergreen spring technique. It's really extraordinary. Is this the Qi family's evergreen spring technique? It's said to be a 6th grade elemental formula. Sure enough, the elemental force is vast and so strong. I seem to see a 10,000-year-old longevity tree appear in front of me. What a strong vitality, what a strong aura. The audience in the stands suddenly boiled up, because there was indeed a big tree that appeared behind Qi Yinran. This was Qi Yinran's elemental spirit. Qi family's inherited elemental spirit, the longevity tree. The tree's roots hugged the alchemy cauldron in front of it. The aura of the longevity tree suddenly poured into the alchemy cauldron. The cauldron was suddenly full of vitality. When the bystanders saw this scene, they were shocked. Even Li Zongjio glanced at the longevity tree. "Longevity tree? Who is Qi Xiaohun to you?" Li Zongjio was extremely surprised when he saw the longevity tree. Qi Xiaohun was considered an unparalleled expert thousands of years ago in his previous life. That year, Qi Xiaohun also caused a storm in the underworld. In the end, he fought 6 great primitive emperors alone and shocked the underworld. However, it was a pity that Qi Xiaohun fell helplessly in the end. However, the 6 great primitive emperors didn't have a good ending either. 2 died and 4 were injured. Li Zongjio naturally didn't have any impression of this name. However, when he saw the soul of the longevity tree, Li Zongjio immediately recalled it. The might of the longevity tree shook the heavens and earth, and protected the future generations of the Qi family. Now that he saw the longevity tree again, he felt as if he was suddenly enlightened. "Don't call my father by his name." Qi Yinran was furious. Not only did he bully her, but he also pretended to be familiar with her father. Naturally, Qi Yinran was also extremely angry because of his shamelessness. "Oh, in this way, your father is a good man," Li Zongjio said. This was Li Zongjio's affirmation of Qi Xiaohun. In his previous life, when Qi Xiaohun fought the 6 great primitive emperors alone, Li Zongjio was only at the Origin King realm. If it was at that time, he naturally wouldn't be qualified to judge Qi Xiaohun. However, Li Zongjio had lived longer, and his cultivation was stronger. He had reached the supremacy realm. Therefore, he was fully qualified to judge Qi Xiaohun. If Qi Xiaohun was still alive, he would have to call Li Zongjio the evil lord. "Who do you think you are to judge my father?" Qi Yinran was furious. She wanted to fight with Li Zongjio on the spot. Even the flames in the cauldron in front of her swayed. Li Zongjio ignored Qi Yinran. They couldn't chat normally. He just casually said a few words and she wanted to fight. How could this person be so impolite? Li Zongjio immediately immersed himself in refining his elixir. He didn't make any fancy moves. He just followed a conventional refining process. Even everyone could see that the refining process of Li Zongjio and Qi Yinran was exactly the same. However, Qi Yinran's speed was slower than Li Zongjio's by half a beat. Jiang Biyuan, who was below, understood Qi Yinran very well. However, when he saw that Qi Yinran seemed to be in a flustered and exasperated mood, he couldn't help but be surprised. "I have never seen Qi Yinran behave like this." Li Zongjio has some real skills. He can make Qi Yinran so angry. Jiang Biyuan was also very surprised. Although everyone was a disciple of the four great families, Jiang Biyuan's voice was not low in the Four Seas Medicine Mansion. However, Jiang Biyuan had always been unhappy with Qi Yinran's aloof appearance. However, he was used to seeing her aloof appearance. At this moment, when he suddenly saw Qi Yinran being so shy, he couldn't help but feel puzzled. Of course, he admired Li Zongjio even more. Before this, Jiang Biyuan had also collected some information about Li Zongjio. Being able to enter the Heavenly Star Medicine Mansion as the first in the freshman list, he was naturally not an ordinary person. Later, during the trial in Baiji Mountain, it was said that he fought against 4 people. Later, he directly killed the 5th-grade alchemist, Hu Fei, on the elixir battle stage. Judging from these actions, Li Zongjio's strength could be said to be very strong. Moreover, his character of doing things according to his heart was also very obvious. If you made him unhappy, he would come to find you in minutes and start a fight without saying a word. Such a character was indeed very rare. Everyone was more concerned about the emotional changes of Qi Yinran. Such a noble and elegant woman would actually be in such a situation at this moment. It was unexpected and even interesting. They wanted to know more inside information. However, Jiang Biyuan could see that although Li Zongjio's movements were slow, his refining speed was always faster than Qi Yinran's. Li Zongjio was always a little bit faster. If he continued to maintain this speed and didn't make any mistakes, then Li Zongjio would win this match without any suspense. There wouldn't be the slightest ripple. Qi Yinran was a little flustered and exasperated at first because this Li Zongjio had really angered her. It made her particularly angry and even made her feel like killing someone. However, as she entered the refining process, her concentration increased. This also made Qi Yinran more focused and serious. Although she was now half a step slower, this was only in the refining of the medicinal herbs. In the final process of refining the pills, Qi Yinran would let you know what was called talent. Talent is something that you can't learn no matter how hard you try. Chapter 402. When Yang Xuelin saw that Li Zongjio was always in the lead, her worried heart slowly calmed down. Although Li Zongjio liked to lie and talk big, he had never dropped the ball in this competition. In that case, it was much better. Not good. If this continues, Li Zongjio may lose to Qi Yinran. Mu Qingyan saw this and could not help but say. His eyebrows were also tightly knitted together. How can it be? Isn't he always in the lead? Kuan Erishur asked doubtfully. At present, Li Zongjio's strength had always been in a normal state. How could he lose so easily? Could it be that Mu Qingyan saw something wrong? Or was Li Zongjio purposely going easy on him? Now the process of refining the materials is a little ahead. But in the end, with the effect of Qi Yinran's longevity tree's original spirit, the whole process will only take less than 3 minutes. That was the real big move. In less than 3 minutes, the pill could be successfully merged. If it's a genius, he can control the time within 2 hours. 3 minutes? Are you kidding? Kuan Erishur suddenly said. After all, it was indeed a bit unbelievable. The most important part of alchemy was the process of merging the pill. The hundreds of thousands of medicinal herbs had to be melted one by one at this moment, and then integrated into the pill to condense into the last pill. Moreover, it was not just a simple refining process. In the process, it was necessary to ensure that the proportion of various medicinal herbs in all aspects was correct. Otherwise, it would be a waste of the pill. That was why Kuan Erishur was so excited. Although alchemists wouldn't spend too much effort on alchemy, just for 2 to 4 hours, shortening the duration of alchemy had always been the research direction of alchemists. High efficiency and high quality pills were refined. Kuan Erishur had done his research before and found that it was very difficult to improve it. With the effect of the longevity tree's original spirit, it can definitely be done. This Li Zongjio is definitely going to lose. Jiang Biyuan looked at Qi Yinran's actions. Once Qi Yinran calmed down, she would be very scary. It could even be seen that Qi Yinran's refining speed was almost catching up with Li Zongjio. Such a change was extremely heart-wrenching. Finally, At the last medicinal herb, Qi Yinran caught up with Li Zhongjiu. Both of them picked up the medicinal herb almost at the same time and threw it into the cauldron. In Qi Yinran's eyes, there was only the medicine cauldron in front of her. Apart from that, there was nothing else. She put all her attention on the medicine cauldron and worked hard to refine the pills successfully. Naive. Li Zhongjiu smiled faintly and shook his head. From the very beginning, Qi Yinran was doomed to lose. Qi Yinran looked at Li Zhongjiu with a contemptuous smile on her face. She felt a burst of anger in her heart. Wait until I put the refined pills in front of you. Let's see if you can still smile. The medicinal herbs were refined. Qi Yinran didn't hesitate at this moment. She used the original spirit incantation in her body. The longevity tree fell behind Qi Yinran with a boom. The branches and leaves above stretched out vigorously. One could feel the tyrannical original spirit incantation flowing on each leaf. Condensing life incantation. Qi Yinran used her innate skill. This skill was the effect of the longevity tree. Suddenly, the vitality of the longevity tree poured into the medicine cauldron in front of her. The medicine cauldron was lifted up by a strong gust of wind and suspended in the air. Everyone could clearly sense that the medicinal liquid within the medicinal cauldron was swiftly agglomerating and rotating, turning into a medicinal pill. At this speed, the medicinal pill would be formed in less than 3 minutes. This frightening speed caused everyone to widen their eyes. Damn, this woman is really amazing. When Kuan Erishur saw this scene, his eyes suddenly widened and his mouth fell open. He never knew that the Qi family's longevity tree had such a function. However, it was not surprising. After all, only Qi Yinran's longevity tree could have such an effect. The condensation art uses the longevity tree as the foundation and borrows the power of heaven and earth. If it is a wood attribute pill, it will be refined 10 times faster in the hands of Qi Yinran, or even faster. In addition to being amazed, everyone also wanted to know what kind of countermeasure Li Zhongjiu would come up with to face Qi Yinran's move. Qi Yinran also seemed to be very confident. Li Zhongjiu, on the other hand, was acting as usual. He followed the extremely normal procedure and even felt like dozing off. Seeing that the flame burning in the medicinal cauldron was not strong enough, he took the time to add in some firewood. The fire burned with crackling sounds. Qi Yinran took the time to glance at Li Zhongjiu. He was clearly in a state of giving up and wanted to smash the broken pot. This was good, because no matter how hard he tried, he could not surpass her. After she successfully refined the pill, she must find a way to humiliate Li Zhongjiu. It's over. Qi Yinran's pill has condensed more than half. Boss is doomed this time. Kuan Erishur could not help but say. It was indeed very miserable. Obviously, at this moment, Li Zhongjiu was powerless to reverse the situation. He could only watch Qi Yinran win. Just a little bit more. Qi Yinran looked at the medicine cauldron, which was already burning hot. The audience was ready to cheer for their goddess, but suddenly, Qi Yinran's eyes changed. Oh no! Qi Yinran suddenly felt that something was wrong. The power in her body was quickly drained, and she could no longer maintain the appearance of the longevity tree. At this moment, the longevity tree behind her disappeared in an instant. Puff! It was swept away by the power of this moment. The meridians in Qi Yinran's body could not bear it, and she directly spat out a mouthful of blood. My cauldron! The disappearance of the longevity tree suddenly made all the audience nervous. What was going on? The next scene, when they saw Qi Yinran spit out blood, and the medicine cauldron fell from the sky, one by one, they were extremely shocked and shouted, "Oh my God! Fuck!" Qi Yinran saw the medicine cauldron fall with a bang. It did not hit her, but the mouth of the cauldron was facing Qi Yinran. At this moment, the medicine cauldron suddenly spewed out a terrible flame, rushing directly toward Qi Yinran. Like a roaring and fierce fire dragon, it swallowed Qi Yinran. At the same time, the medicine cauldron itself rushed in the opposite direction, this time rushing toward the audience. If the medicine cauldron fell, who knew how many people would die in an instant? The guardian elders in the audience also realized it in an instant. They thought that Qi Yinran had the ability to block this wave of attack, so they also directly chased after the medicine cauldron. However, at this moment, Qi Yanran had no way to avoid it. She could only face this flame head-on. This flame was transformed by the fourth grade elixir, and its power was terrifying. But at this moment, Qi Yanran was unable to mobilize the origin energy in her body. Everyone was shocked when they saw this scene. Why did Qi Yanran not rush out? Was she deliberately seeking death? Qi Yanran instinctively reacted, blocking in front of her with her hands. The hot aura instantly wrapped Qi Yanran, as if she was in a furnace. However, Qi Yanran did not feel the power of the direct impact. She only felt the aura from the surroundings, which shocked Qi Yanran. When she opened her eyes, she saw a figure in front of her. Li Zongjio. Li Zongjio displayed his origin energy. Although the flame rushed directly toward him, it was forcibly divided into two parts by Li Zongjio. The two people in the flame were safe and sound. The medicine cauldron was caught by the elders of the Four Seas Medicine Manor, but the elixir inside had already disappeared. Li Zongjio also saved Qi Yanran, which made everyone break out in cold sweat for Qi Yanran. This was too terrifying. Qi Yanran was also a little frightened. How could this happen to her? In an instant, Qi Yanran thought of a reason, and that was the poison left in her body by the blood poison insect. Your medicine cauldron. When Qi Yanran's medicine cauldron flew out, it also directly hit Li Zongjio's medicine cauldron. Didn't that mean that both sides failed in this alchemy? Although the main reason was caused by Qi Yanran's power, there were many variables in the process. However, there were a lot of uncertainties in the process of the competition. Everyone was only looking at the final result. Immediately, the elders of the Four Seas Medicine Manor landed on the alchemy platform. When they saw this scene, they were slightly surprised. Since both sides' elixirs have been destroyed then. Wait a minute. Li Zongjio suddenly said and raised his hand. Who told you that my elixir was destroyed? Opening his palm, there was a small cauldron condensed from flames. In the small cauldron, a peak grade 4 with spirit elixir was gradually taking shape. My elixir is here. As his voice fell, all the energy in the fire cauldron poured into the elixir and condensed it into shape. A peak grade 4 with spirit elixir. Whoosh! The fragrance of the elixir filled the air. Everyone exclaimed in surprise. Who would have thought that Li Zongjio would still be able to take out the elixir, even when he was busy saving people? This was really too abnormal. Chapter 403. What? Seeing the medicinal pill lying in Li Zongjio's hand, Meng Yu and the others suddenly opened their eyes wide. Even Meng Yu did not expect that Li Zongjio could actually refine medicinal pills in such an environment. When Qi Yanran saw Li Zongjio's medicinal pill, there was a trace of joy in her heart. Although Qi Yanran wanted to win against Li Zongjio, she did not want to destroy the other party's medicinal pill refining because of her. But now it seemed that Li Zongjio's strength was indeed very terrifying. You're really something, Qi Yanran said lightly. Just now, Li Zongjio took the time to save her. For Qi Yanran, this was a very touching thing, because Li Zongjio could have not come to save her. In that case, the medicinal pill would have been better, and at the same time, he could have one less opponent. At this moment, while Qi Yanran was grateful to Li Zongjio, she also respected Li Zongjio very much, because he was not a person who would take advantage of others' precarious situation. My God, the boss is really a god. Kuan Erisher felt that his scalp was about to explode. He did not expect that Yi Shiwen could refine medicinal pills in such an environment. It was too awesome, and he also saved the girl's life. This kind of hero saving the beauty would probably leave a deep impression in the girl's heart. This wave of operation is really good. Very Li Zongjio. Li Zongjio always inadvertently caused a great impact and fluctuation. This was the ability of Li Zongjio. Qi Yanran's mentor quickly rushed to the stage to care about Qi Yanran. Qi Yanran already had some guesses about her situation. She thought that it was just a little bit of poison, but it actually had such an impact. It was really hard to believe. The surrounding audience was shocked for a moment. Their goddess had almost been burned by the flames. It did not matter whether she won or lost. The most important thing was that she was fine. Fortunately, Qi Yanran was fine. But after thinking about it carefully, Li Zongjio's strength was hidden too deeply. It should be known that Qi Yinran had used the longevity tree to refine her elixir, because she had the assistance of her original spirit. However, Li Zhongjiu had directly refined the elixir at that moment. Therefore, even if Qi Yinran's elixir furnace did not explode, and her original spirit did not have any accidents, she was still not Li Zhongjiu's opponent. Li Zhongjiu could still refine the medicinal pill in advance. In this way, wasn't it extremely terrifying? Even Qi Yinran, who had activated her spirit, was not Li Zhongjiu's opponent. Many elders of the Four Seas Medicine Manor also looked at Li Zhongjiu. Jiang Biyuan thought about it carefully and felt even more terrified. However, everyone's focus was on Qi Yinran, so they accidentally neglected Li Zhongjiu's strength. In fact, Li Zhongjiu's strength was also extremely terrifying. Li Zhongjiu, who had won this round, returned to his seat as if nothing had happened. When he sat back, he sat cross-legged and closed his eyes to meditate. He did not say anything else, but Yang Xuelin now found Li Zhongjiu more pleasing to the eye. He was able to save Qi Yinran's life just now. Based on this point, the Four Seas Medicine Manor's attitude towards the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor would be better in the future. The second and third round were also infighting. Shuiyu and Mu Qingyan had a contest. Although Mu Qingyan won, it was a narrow victory. Shuiyu still had potential, but it had not been stimulated yet. The third round was between Meng Yu of the Purple Pill Academy and Lu Zhao. Naturally, Meng Yu won without any suspense. The fourth round was between Mo Suli of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor and Ye Tianhong of the Purple Pill Academy. The content of the competition was to refine a fire attribute medicinal pill. The next round was to refine a water attribute medicinal pill. There was not much suspense in the first two rounds. If one wanted to say that it was exciting, it could not be considered too exciting. However, the next round could cheer people up. At present, among the three major academies, the Four Seas Medicinal Manor was probably done for. Even Qi Yinran, who was originally ranked first, couldn't make it to the next round. It was obvious that they had encountered a strong opponent. Even if Jiang Biyuan won, it would be difficult for him to win glory for the academy. However, this round was extremely important for the Purple Pill Academy. Two people from the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor had already advanced. If Mo Suli won this round, it would allow the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor to firmly occupy the throne of first place. However, according to the temperament of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, they would not allow the Purple Pill Academy to obtain first place. With so many fierce tigers and hungry wolves chasing behind, even Meng Yu would feel pressured. The fourth round is between Mo Suli of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor and Ye Tianhong of the Purple Pill Academy. When these two names were read out, the audience in the viewing gallery exclaimed one after another. Clearly, they were extremely excited about the duel between these two people. It is said that Mo Suli was accepted as a disciple by the Eastern Victory State's medicine sovereign when he was 12 years old. It has only been 6 years. Not only is he talented and handsome, his temperament is also unparalleled. Among the female alchemists, I'm afraid that only our senior sister Yinran can compete with him. Nye Tianhong of the Purple Pill Academy also has a great background. She is the disciple of the Southern Heaven Pill King. Now, she is also a disciple of the Southern Heaven Pill King's master. Her talent has also been personally acknowledged by the Southern Heaven Pill King. In the future, her achievements will definitely surpass the Southern Heaven Pill King. Such talent cannot be underestimated. The battle between dragons and tigers is about to begin. It will only be interesting to watch the people from the two academies kill each other. Some people ridiculed their Four Seas Medicine Manor's sharpness had been covered this time. However, it would be quite satisfying to watch the battle between the Purple Pill Academy and the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor. As the saying goes, when two tigers fight, one must be injured. No matter who was injured, the Four Seas Medicine Manor would be the happiest. The Eastern Victory State is in the north. This is considered a battle between the north and the south. Is the disciple of the Eastern Victory State's medicine sovereign, or the Southern Heaven Pill King of the Southern Sandal State more powerful? The Heavenly Pill Pavilion's manager Su Hong said with a smile. There were quite a number of geniuses in this generation. It was naturally a good thing for the Heavenly Pill Pavilion to be so prosperous. Although the Eastern Victory State's name was East, it was actually in the north. Moreover, most of the geographical environment was composed of islands. No matter if it is the north or south, it is the land of the dynasty. It is a blessing for our dynasty to have so many talents in the younger generation. An elder of the Four Seas Medicine Manor immediately said. Being able to sit beside Su Hong, even if it was just a few words, had left a deep impression on him. Perhaps there would be some good things that would happen in the future. Moreover, the Four Seas Medicine Manor was backed by the four great families. This was a sensitive matter. If they had too many resources in their hands, it would attract the attention of the dynasty. However, it seemed that the Four Seas Medicine Manor still needed some time to achieve something. That's right. Su Hong nodded his head in satisfaction. Although the scale of the exchange competition this time wasn't large, the quality of the contestants that were selected was extremely high. It wasn't easy to be able to control the situation in such a situation. Moreover, there were so many interesting matches. Not only did it bring a certain impact to him, the manager of the Heavenly Pill Pavilion, but it also taught the students of the Four Seas Medicine Manor a good lesson. Everyone was of the same age, but there were people who were outstanding to such a level. It could be seen that this effort was rather important. Among them, the most outstanding one was naturally Li Zongjio. This was because Li Zongjio didn't come from a noble family. Even the place where his family was located was only a small city like the Sunset City. The appearance of such a grassroots genius could be considered as giving these ordinary, or not-so-noble students a boost of confidence. At the very least, it could tell them that the world wasn't that bad. The two people on the field represented great responsibility and significance. Nie Tianhong glanced at Emo Suli. What level of the Medicine Emperor's true scripture have you cultivated to? Are you confident that you can beat me? Nie Tianhong said indifferently. The elixirs that needed to be refined this time were all at the peak of the 4th grade. Some people didn't succeed, and the quality of their elixirs couldn't reach this level. There were even fewer people who could refine elixirs to this level. In the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, those who could refine a peak of the 4th grade elixir could already be ranked in the Alchemy Master ranking. It's more than enough to deal with you. Emo Suli replied coldly. The two of them were destined to not be good friends. Emo Suli also disdained to be friends with Nie Tianhong, because Nie Tianhong had never put Emo Suli in his eyes. Although it was because of Emo Suli's talent, he was only slightly valued now. After the two of them took their seats, they immediately displayed the power of their alchemy fire. When the two genius experts released their alchemy fire, it caused a huge commotion in the audience. The aura released by the two of them was too shocking. Boom! Boom! Like two dragons flying into the sky couldn't accommodate the two of them at the same time. Behind Emo Suli a white ferret appeared. The ferret's eyes revealed a kind of indifferent nobility. The appearance of such an arrogant attitude made people wonder if this ferret was the legendary 5th grade origin beast, the White Emperor Ferret. It was rumored that the White Emperor Ferret was also a spiritual beast. To be able to become Emo Suli's origin beast, it obviously put in a lot of effort. White Emperor Ferret. It seems like the Emo family spent a lot of effort to nurture you. When Nie Tianhong saw the giant beast behind Emo Suli, there was a trace of amazement in her eyes. However, when Nie Tianhong's origin spirit appeared, it also carried a trace of ferocity. A ghost-like existence appeared in the arena. Darkmoon Infernal Fox. Its pitch-black claws and tail were like torches burning with black flames. As it gently swung, a scorching aura spread out. Accompanying this heat was, at the same time, it also shocked the people on the field. Two 5th grade origin beasts. This match is going to be exciting. Chapter 404. Li Zongjio sensed the aura of the Darkmoon Infernal Fox and looked over. There were very few things that could attract Li Zongjio's attention. When he looked at the Darkmoon Infernal Fox, Li Zongjio couldn't help but smile. He grinned. At first glance, his smile looked a little strange. The Howling Moon Wolf King had just broken through recently. If he wanted to continue breaking through, he would need to replenish the Howling Moon Wolf King's nutrients. If he could eat the Dark Moon Infernal Fox, it would definitely increase the strength of the Howling Moon Wolf King. However, it won't increase much if I eat it now. I'll eat it when I become stronger in the future. It's rare to see a meta beast that possesses the power of the moon attribute. Li Zhongjiu thought in his heart. Li Zhongjiu did not place the intense battle on the arena in his eyes, nor did he care. Instead, he continued to meditate and cultivate. Li Zhongjiu's comprehension of the white god Fu had made him feel as though his understanding of mind power had reached a whole new level. Regardless of whether it's the white god Fu, blood spirit world, or ancient golden body art, they are all extremely powerful origin arts. Wanting to fuse all of these origin arts into one's body will definitely be incomparably difficult. If I can't endure it, it's extremely likely that my body will explode, and I will die. Li Zhongjiu also saw his own future. After all, he only had the body of a human. No matter how strong he was, there was a limit. These meta arts were all for the experts of the dragon race to cultivate. Those guys were born with extremely abnormal bodies. If they wanted to compare with these monsters, they would naturally be much weaker. Therefore, Li Zhongjiu had to consider carefully. If these meta arts caused his body to explode in the future, the consequences would be unimaginable. If I continue to cultivate, it will be beneficial before I break through to the Origin Emperor realm. However, after I break through to the Origin Emperor realm, it will bring along conflicts and contradictions. That will be the first challenge. To get through this challenge, other than my own cultivation, I also need to prepare elixirs. The blood medicine bug's Yuan crystal will be the focus. Li Zhongjiu thought. As a supreme being expert, Li Zhongjiu was naturally aware of the disadvantages of cultivating multiple elemental arts. However, this was the only path they had discovered on this pilgrimage path. They had to continue walking it with determination. Even if I can't hold on, I have to make enough preparations so that the family can continue to prosper. In fact, Li Zhongjiu had even thought about what would happen if he couldn't hold on in the future and exploded to death. To Li Zhongjiu, death was no longer that frightening. He wasn't afraid of death because he had already died once. What he was afraid of was letting down his father, mother, and the entire Li family. Yang Xuelin originally wanted Li Zhongjiu to pay more attention to the competition between her companions. After all, they were from the same school, so he should at least show some concern. However, she happened to see Li Zhongjiu's gloomy expression when he opened his eyes. This kind of gloomy expression seemed to have carried a lot of burden behind it. As a girl, she couldn't bear to see such an expression. She always had the feeling of wanting to pounce forward to protect the other party. Li Zhongjiu's strength is so strong, but it's definitely not innate. He must have suffered a lot behind it. It's naturally not easy for him to walk out of Wuxia city step by step. When Yang Xuelin thought of this, she sighed softly in her heart. Li Zhongjiu seemed to be indifferent to everything, and seemed to be cultivating every moment. It was also because of this that he had the opportunity to become a true expert in the future. It was precisely because of his lack of resources that he had to be more hardworking than others. However, Li Zhongjiu's situation was completely different from what Yang Xuelin thought. On the contrary, with the experience of his previous life, Li Zhongjiu's cultivation in this life was much easier. In terms of cultivation, Li Zhongjiu wasn't worried. The real opportunity would come after 1,000 years. Speaking of opportunities, although many things would happen in the next 500 years, Li Zhongjiu didn't participate much in the previous life. Firstly, he didn't have the mood, and secondly, he didn't have enough strength. However, after 1,000 years of development, a lot of big events had happened in this continent. Many experts had sprung up like bamboo shoots after the rain, and all of a sudden, all of them had emerged. It could be said that 1,000 years later, it would be the era of blooming flowers. However, before that, many experts would fall, and battles of varying sizes would occur continuously. In these troubled times, many peerless heroes emerged. For example, Qi Shaohun was one of the most shocking people in the world. Even Li Zhongjiu at that time was completely convinced by Qi Shaohun's unparalleled heroic spirit. It could be said that he admired Qi Xiaohun greatly. However, his ending could be said to be rather tragic. On the stage, Mo Su Li and Nie Tianhong's refinement had already reached the crucial stage of pill fusion. The two's yuan qi, one black and one white, could be said to be incompatible like fire and water. They were at odds with each other. All of a sudden, the Dark Moon Inferno Fox behind Nie Tianhong let out a low growl and charged towards the White Emperor Snow Mink. The two of them weren't far from each other. The White Emperor Snow Mink was still concentrating on helping its master concoct pills when it suddenly charged forward. He had successfully concocted the pill. However, the Dark Moon Inferno Fox suddenly jumped up and bit the White Emperor Snow Mink's neck. Boom! The White Emperor Snow Mink immediately used its strength to send the Dark Moon Inferno Fox flying. However, the pill in the cauldron was affected. Boom! The pill in the cauldron became extremely unstable. Looking at the situation, it seemed as if the cauldron was about to explode. The Dark Moon Inferno Fox was actually so despicable. Not only did it launch a sneak attack, it even launched a sneak attack at such a crucial moment. It was simply shameless. Bang! Mo Su Li immediately slapped the cauldron in front of him. Instantly the pill in the cauldron flew out. However, under the support of Yuan Qi, the pill continued to condense. Illusory fire pill condensation technique. When everyone saw the movements of Mo Su Li's hands, they were all shocked. This illusory fire pill condensation technique could be considered as stunning. The illusory fire pill condensation technique. When it was used, it was just like when Li Zongjie was facing Hu Fei. It had also used the heavenly dragon fetching water technique, which left a huge shock in everyone's heart. The illusory fire pill condensation technique was also extremely stunning when used by Mo Su Li. However, the power of this technique was even more vivid when used by Li Zongjie. Many people didn't notice. Li Zongjie blocked the flame in front of Qi Yanran. His cauldron was knocked over, and the pill was only saved because of this illusory fire pill condensation technique. However, Li Zongjie's strength was stronger, and his control was more precise. He directly condensed the flame into a cauldron. Chapter 405. It could be seen that Mo Su Li had no choice but to use this move. Moreover, his technique wasn't as smooth as Li Zongjie's. The instant the pill left the medicinal cauldron, the flame wasn't reignited, causing the pill to drop by a grade. Boom! Nie Tianxia was the first to successfully condense the pill. A pill fell into his hand, emitting a pure and hot flame. This kind of power continued to spread in all directions. Peak grade 4 realm. Moreover, the aura of this medicinal pill was completely natural. It gave people the feeling that it was born from the heavens and earth. There were no traces of it being man-made. This was an extremely wonderful realm of alchemy. It was called the perfection realm. Looking at this peak 4th grade medicinal pill, it was only at the small perfection stage. However, there were very few people who could touch this level of perfection stage. Only a few people with extreme talent could refine this medicinal pill to a kind of perfection stage. It was really not simple. At such a young age, he has already touched the small perfection realm. This Nie Tianhong really has his master's shadow. He's even more powerful than his master. Su Hong and the others were also chatting. Initial perfection. This was the first time in such a long period of time in the competition. Clearly, quite a lot of effort had been expended in order to deal with Mo Su Li. Of course, Nie Tianhong's little trick from before had also been seen by everyone. If she did not have that little trick, perhaps Nie Tianhong would be even more perfect and even more admirable. However, everyone would only remember the victory. Boom! Although Mo Su Li's pill was saved, he couldn't surpass Nie Tianhong. However, there was no way for him to surpass the other party. His medicinal pills were also stuck at the late stage of the 4th grade. Although it wasn't as good as the other party's pill that was close to the small perfection realm, Mo Su Li's psychological quality also won the applause of the surrounding people. Although he lost, it was still a glorious defeat. Mo Su Li will remember today's enmity. Mo Su Li coldly looked at Nie Tianhong. I'll wait for you, Nie Tianhong said proudly. Seeing Nie Tianhong return after winning the battle, Zhang Kuang immediately laughed out loud. As expected, a great teacher produces a great disciple. Only on the battlefield can one tell whether one is a mule or a horse. Zhang Kuang did not try to hide his voice at all. It was neither loud nor soft. Those with low cultivation, and those who did not pay much attention would naturally not be able to hear it. But Mo Suli heard it clearly. The distance between the two great academies was not far. Suli, there's no need to pay attention to some rumors. They're just the words of a lowly person. Yang Xuelin stepped forward to comfort her. That grandson over there. What nonsense are you spouting behind my back? If you have the ability, come over and say it. A figure pointed at Zhang Kuang, who was standing not far away, and said, I feel disgusted just by looking at your ugly face. If we weren't in the Four Seas medicine manor, I definitely wouldn't have let you stand there unscathed. The one who spoke was Li Zongjio. He pointed at Zhang Kuang's nose and scolded him. From the looks of it, he looked like he was about to rush up. Zhang Kuang was stunned. There was actually someone who dared to provoke him like this. It seemed like this kid was really naughty. Of course, it was impossible for Zhang Kuang to really walk over and fight with Li Zongjio. Kuan Erishur quickly stopped Li Zongjio. He was afraid that Li Zongjio would rush over and be knocked to the ground. That would be embarrassing. Don't be rash, boss. Calm down, calm down. Give me some face. Look at those shameless bastards. If you want to concoct pills, then concoct pills. Why don't you eat while you're shitting? If the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. A bunch of snakes, worms, rats, and ants living in the same nest. What kind of people are they? Li Zongjio did not really go over to fight. However, this scolding also made the people on the other side feel angry and unhappy, especially Nie Tianhong, because Li Zongjio's description just now was too unpleasant. Who are you talking about? Say it again. Nie Tianhong immediately pointed at Li Zongjio and roared. I'm talking about you. Are you unhappy? With your character, how can you concoct pills? Go eat shit. Mo Suli and the others were also dumbfounded as they watched the scolding war in front of them. They had no idea why such a thing would happen. However, Mo Suli was also very happy when he heard it. Although the other party did not win fair and square, he still won. The loser had nothing to say. However, Li Zongjio's scolding helped her vent her anger. Her originally low mood actually improved a little at this moment. Say it again if you have the guts. Nie Tianhong was furious and almost rushed up to Li Zongjio to tear him apart. However, Lu Zhao, who was beside her, quickly pulled her back. If she really rushed out, it would not be good for her reputation. Fine, I'll say it. With your character, how could Nantian Pil King accept you as his disciple? I'm afraid that you're a bastard child of Nantian Pil King outside. It's not good to admit it directly, so he accepted you as his disciple. Both of you are really shameless. What did you say? Fuck your grandpa. Nie Tianhong was like someone stepped on her tail. She directly exploded on the spot and roared angrily. Hearing Li Zongjio's words, the surrounding people opened their eyes wide. Even Mo Suli did not dare to say it. It was not a big deal to scold Nie Tianhong, but it was unbelievable that he dared to insult Nantian Pil King. They did not expect Li Zongjio to be so bold. If Nantian Pil King knew about it, he would probably send people to chase Li Zongjio to the ends of the earth. However, Nie Tianhong's action was also surprising. She was only angry and did not deny it. Such an attitude made people start to guess. Yang Xuelin realized that Li Zongjio seemed to have said something serious. She immediately shouted in a low voice. Li Zongjio, shut up. Don't say it again. Mo Suli was also dumbfounded. He did not expect Li Zongjio to help her vent her anger and offend Nantian Pil King. Li Zongjio, it's okay. Mo Suli wanted to persuade Li Zongjio. However, Li Zongjio did not wait for others to persuade him. After he finished speaking, he turned around and went back to his seat and started to cultivate again. It was completely different from the image of a shrew cursing in the streets. After seeing it, people felt as if they were two different people. The change before and after was simply confusing. Damn, what's going on? Kuan Erishur saw this scene, and his eyes widened. His eyes immediately widened. He simply couldn't figure out Li Zongjio's thoughts. Li Zongjio had already calmed down. but the person opposite him seemed to be on the verge of going crazy. Lu Zhao, let me go. If I don't twist his head off today, how can I swallow this anger? Not only did he insult me, but he also insulted my master. I'll kill him, Nie Tianhong said. Lu Zhao also tried his best to stop Nie Tianhong. If he let her go, who knows what would happen? Tianhong, don't worry. He won't live past tomorrow. Meng Yu stretched out his hand to stop the angry Nie Tianhong. In the beginning, Li Zongjie was only provoking him. But now he provoked Nie Tianhong. He was clearly seeking his own death. Chapter 406. Only then did Nie Tianhong forcefully suppress the anger in his heart. If it wasn't for Meng Yu, he might have really rushed up to Li Zongjie for a showdown. He actually dared to speak such arrogant words. However, after provoking Nie Tianhong, Li Zongjie quickly returned to his seat as if nothing had happened, leaving Nie Tianhong to explode on the spot. Moreover, this incident happened very quickly and ended very quickly as well. It only took the time it took to exchange a few words. Even Su Hong, and the others on the high platform, didn't see clearly what had happened, and it was already over. On the other side, Nie Tianhong's eyes were red with anger. Moreover, he was angrily asking the people around him. As the saying goes, all is fair in war. This was a competition, not a game. What's so strange about a sneak attack? If it was in some wild environment, the danger he would encounter would be even more terrifying and unpredictable. If he was accidentally swallowed by the meta beast, would he have to look for the meta beast to reason with? Clearly, Nie Tianhong didn't think he was wrong. Natural selection, survival of the fittest. Mo Suli also didn't think there was anything wrong with it. However, he was unhappy about losing, and stood on the side of a gentleman. Clearly, this Nie Tianhong was an extremely narrow-minded person. He actually did such a thing. It was really despicable. However, Mo Suli naturally felt uncomfortable in his heart. Li Zongjie's scolding could be considered as helping Mo Suli vent his anger. Naturally, he felt happy in his heart. However, it was hard for Mo Suli to say words of thanks. Moreover, before this, Mo Suli's relationship with Li Zongjie wasn't very good. Even Mo Suli somewhat looked down on Li Zongjie. He didn't expect that Li Zongjie would be willing to help him vent his anger. Moreover, in a moment of desperation, he even scolded the South Heaven Pill King. This made Mo Suli happy, but he couldn't help but worry for Li Zongjie. The South Heaven Pill King was in existence on par with his master. Such a person was extremely concerned about his reputation. If he knew about this matter, he would definitely eliminate Li Zongjie at any cost. Even the family behind Li Zongjie would suffer. Thinking of this, Mo Suli was extremely worried. And now, the one who felt like her head was about to explode was Yang Xuelin, who knew what was wrong with Li Zongjie's brain to actually say such words. If it was just a quarrel with Nie Tianhong, then this matter would be over. But now that he directly mentioned the South Heaven Pill King, it didn't seem to be a glorious thing. This was a big problem. I must report this matter to the Vice Dean when I get back. Because at this level, it's not something that someone like Yang Xuelin can handle. That was in existence at the Pill King level. 10 years ago, the South Heaven Pill King was already famous. At that time, the South Heaven Pill King had already reached the peak of the 5th grade. 10 years had passed. It was very likely that he had already stepped into the small completion realm. If one were to make a bold assumption, the South Heaven Pill King was very likely to directly break through the 6th grade Pill Emperor realm. If the alchemists wanted to advance in this small space, it would not be such a simple matter. Often in this small realm, there were thousands of detours that needed to be crossed. This was the truly difficult moment. If one couldn't cross these obstacles, then they wouldn't be able to break through. The alchemy realm was very mysterious. It wasn't like Yuanli, which could be used clearly. Sometimes, when one's strength wasn't enough, but one could accidentally refine a good quality pill. However, it didn't mean that one had reached the realm. When you feel blessed and enlightened, you will instantly know that you have already made a breakthrough. For example, Yang Xuelin was now a beginner 5th grade alchemist. If she wanted to break through to the middle 5th grade, she didn't know how long it would take. If she had enough talent and opportunity, She might be able to make further progress in 5 years. However, if she lacks something, then it might take 10 years or even 20 years. However, cultivation didn't stagnate. Instead, he was constantly making breakthroughs. At the same level, if one were to refine the same pill 10 years ago and 10 years later, the effects would be extremely different. The difference was caused by one's cultivation level. Don't worry, I won't bring any trouble to the academy, Li Zongjie said lightly. The reason why he deliberately provoked the other party was to give the other party a reason to seek revenge when he became stronger in the future. Otherwise, Li Zongjie wouldn't remember him. Originally, Li Zongjie's mind was filled with enough things. He still had to remember an insignificant person. How could he have such a big experience? Therefore, he came up with this move to let the other party come to him in the future. Then, he would reap the other party's life. The farce under the stage ended quickly. Only the people from the two great academies clearly knew what had happened. The rest of the people didn't know what had happened. However, Nie Tianhong seemed to be very angry. Looking at Li Zongjie, who was not far away, could it be that Li Zongjie was unhappy with Nie Tianhong and deliberately taught him a lesson? However, it would be very fast if they were to bump into each other. Young people nowadays are really hot-tempered. Su Hong and the others were also on the high platform. Looking at the fiery mood of both sides, they couldn't help but tease. Sure enough, it was good to be young. If they weren't hot-tempered, how could they be called young? The last match is Jiang Biyuan, right? It's not easy for the Jiang clan to produce such a genius in alchemy. The Jiang clan had been cultivating the primary martial arts for generations. However, who knew that Jiang Biyuan would appear and have such a terrifying talent in alchemy? However, what was even more praiseworthy and unknown to outsiders was that Jiang Biyuan was not only a genius in alchemy, but also a genius in martial arts. Moreover, most of Jiang Biyuan's time was spent on cultivating his primary martial arts. To be able to raise his alchemy realm so quickly, it was also amazing. Now he could become the trump card of the Four Seas medicine manor. Lord Su Hong is too kind. One of the Jiang clan's elders felt a little apologetic, but the pride on his face was undisguised. Recently, dual cultivation of alchemy and martial arts seemed to be quite popular. However, that was only for the true geniuses. If they weren't geniuses, they wouldn't have the experience to cultivate these two completely different types of alchemy. Ordinary people couldn't bear it. Kuan Erisher and Jiang Biyuan stood on the stage. Now there was only one last round left. The elixir needed to be refined was a water attribute elixir. This allowed Jiang Biyuan to gain an advantage. After all, this was a competition organized by the Four Seas Medicine Manor. Moreover, in terms of the competition format, it wasn't a big deal to gain an advantage. Even someone as strong as Qi Yinran had been defeated. Now, Jiang Biyuan was the only one left in the Four Seas Medicine Manor. Even so, Jiang Biyuan still received enthusiastic cheers from everyone present. They were all fighting for the glory of the academy, so of course they had to support him. After all, Jiang Biyuan's opponent had a great background. He was a warrior from Kuan Castle, Kuan Erisher. When Kuan Erisher stood on such a big stage, he couldn't help but feel a little nervous. This was his purpose for coming here. This is the first step I've taken, right? Kuan Erisher looked at Jiang Biyuan, who was opposite him, with a strong fighting spirit. As for Jiang Biyuan, for the glory of his academy, he had to stand up and use all his strength to fight with Kuan Erisher. Chapter 407. On the stage, both of them unleashed their Yuan power at the same time. However, both of them did not unleash their own Yuan spirit power. Similar to Qi Yinran, Mo Suli and the others, their own Yuan spirit power was helpful for alchemy, which was why they would unleash it. However, under normal circumstances, they would not unleash their Yuan spirit. For these two people, who paid more attention to their Yuan power cultivation, the strength of their Yuan spirit, and even some information such as attributes, were all related to life and death. It wasn't like casually releasing one's origin spirit for the sake of some dazzling performance. Then, one would deliberately release one's origin spirit to please the crowd. That way in the future, one might lose one's life. Their yuan spirits were a secret. Before they unleashed all their killing moves, it was impossible for them to let you know. However, even without the appearance of their yuan spirits, this battle between men was extremely shocking. Both of them were full of firepower. Although they were refining a water attribute elixir, the power of the flame must be sufficient. The heat in the arena also stirred up the emotions of many spectators. The two of them also displayed some high-level alchemy skills. For example, the air quenching, the flame splitting refinement. Similar little tricks were used endlessly. Not only did they want to win, but they also wanted to win beautifully. Currently, the Purple Pill Academy and Heavenly Dawn Medicine Manor had both advanced at the same time. Both of them had advanced at the same time. Li Zhongjie's performance was remarkable, but Mu Qingyan was slightly inferior in front of the two from the Purple Pill Academy. Now Lan Kuan was able to defeat his opponent and successfully break through. At the same time, among the remaining 5 people, whoever could get the first place would obviously have a great advantage. The final individual ranking would also be sampled from above, and based on some of the previous performances. With the Lord of the Heavenly Pill Pavilion here, there was no need to doubt the fairness of this competition. Even if you questioned it, it was useless. Heavenly Dragon fetches water. Kuan Arashi's Heavenly Dragon fetches water directly sent the elixir in the medicinal cauldron flying into the sky. It circled in the air and instantly fell. During this process, it was as though a real dragon had emerged from the medicinal cauldron, dragging a long flaming tail behind it. Finally, it entrenched itself within the medicinal cauldron. During this process, it had also completed a state of refinement. And Kuan Erishur also wanted to amaze everyone. In order to better spread his reputation, he had to use this method. 1 fire for 3 uses. Upon seeing this, Jiang Biyuan did not fall into a disadvantageous position. He unleashed a brilliant technique, and the medicinal cauldron was immediately divided into 3 layers. However, it was inevitable that he would feel a little uncomfortable after being suppressed by others. You're not bad too. Perfect grade 4. You're better than that guy who only knows how to sneak attack. Kuan Erishur said. The referee hadn't announced the result yet, but these 2 people were already praising each other. It's just perfect grade. It's nothing. Jiang Biyuan shook his head and said, I heard that your cultivation of primary energy is stronger than alchemy. If there's a chance, let's exchange pointers. Kuan Erishur looked at Jiang Biyuan and said. There was a trace of provocation in his eyes. Being young, it was natural to show off. Hearing that Kuan Erishur actually dared to challenge him, Jiang Biyuan couldn't help but look at the young man from Kuan Castle. I heard that the people from Kuan Castle are all born gods of war. If there's a chance, Jiang Biyuan would naturally want to experience it. Finally, the elders of the 4 Seas Medicine Mansion came and appraised the elixirs of the 2 people. After the appraisal, the results were announced. Everyone was shocked. The elixirs refined by these 2 people could be said to be the best of the competition. One was a perfect grade 4, and the other was a perfect grade 4. Moreover, it was a true perfect grade. It was more powerful than Nie Tianhong. After all, Nie Tianhong was only close to the perfect grade. However, this was also based on the foundation of sufficient time. Both of them only wanted to refine more exquisite elixirs. They didn't compete with each other in terms of time. Therefore, the elixirs refined by them had the chance to reach such a realm. The winner was Kuan Erishur. With that, the second round ended. The 4 Seas Medicine Mansion was completely annihilated. The Heavenly Star Medicine Mansion was worthy of being called a big brother. The 3 of them successfully entered the 3rd round, which could be considered as establishing their strength and status. However, there was still the Purple Pill Institute chasing after them. Therefore, they couldn't be too careless. In the Heavenly Star Medicine Mansion, Kuan Erishur, Mu Qingyan, and Li Zhongjie smoothly entered the 3rd round. The 2 people from the Purple Pill Institute, Nie Tianhong and Mengyu. Coincidentally, these 2 people had a feeling of wanting to kill Li Zhongjie. They had formed a deep hatred with Li Zhongjie. They couldn't wait to directly turn this elixir competition into a sword competition. In that case, They could cut off Li Zongjio's flesh piece by piece. Only in this way could they resolve the hatred in their hearts. Tomorrow is the third round. The three of you must not take it lightly. Rest early tonight. Don't be too tired. Yang Xuelin said earnestly. She was worried about this and that, not to mention how worried she was. Instructor Sun Yu sat down beside Su Hong, and the rest as they conversed. He had naturally left these troublesome matters to Yang Xuelin. After all, if Yang Xuelin was not around, who knew what kind of trouble would have arisen? Although there were many geniuses in the Heavenly Star Medicine Mansion, these geniuses were all arrogant and difficult to control. Teacher, don't worry. We're not children. We won't mess around. Kuan Erasure couldn't help but say. How could this teacher still treat them like children? He was already so old, and he was also a person who had seen the world. What could possibly happen in a place like this? He was really overthinking. I'll be a fool if I believe you. Yang Xuelin went to look for Teacher Sun Yu. The five of them were free to move around. Why don't we go and have a meal? I heard that the business street of the Four Seas Medicine Mansion gathers delicacies from all over the world. It would be a waste if we don't eat. Long Kuan tried to matchmake them. Then, he looked at Li Zongjio and the others. The others didn't say anything. They saw that Li Zongjio had already stood up and was ready. Let's go. Lead the way. This meal is on you. Chapter 408. Kuan Erasure also didn't expect that Li Zongjio would be so proactive the moment he heard about food. It seemed like he was also a foodie. As long as he liked to eat. I'll go too. Shui Yu quickly raised her hand. I lost a match today. I'm so angry. I'm going to eat a big meal. Then, he looked at Mu Qingyan and Mo Suli. These two people were inseparable from each other all day long. They were practically glued together. Since they were friends, of course he had to pull them in. He could also use this opportunity to make the two of them a couple. Shui Yu was incomparably enthusiastic about such things. Matchmaking was what she was best at. You two should go too. People have to eat. Moreover, those people are so fierce. If we really meet them and fight them, we can still have a helper. Shui Yu said. Hey, don't say that. If those people dare to be arrogant, look at your brother Kuan. I'll slap them one by one. Kuan Erasure immediately patted his chest and guaranteed. He had a look of I'm very powerful and fierce. Forget it. With your small body, you can at most deal with two people. The moment you go up, they'll slap two people out to beat you up. That way, you'll be able to deal with two people. Your little mouth is quite naughty, Kuan Erasure said as he was about to make a move. He was determined to show Shui Yu his strength. Today I'll treat. Thank you for standing up for me today. It should be me who should treat. Mo Suli said. Sure. Let's go first. If we're late, there won't be any seats left. Thus Kuan Erasure led the way, and Li Zongjio and the rest followed. They arrived in front of a restaurant in the business district. Four Seas Restaurant. A dazzling golden signboard hung at the entrance. When they saw the signboard, there was also a banner beside it. 100-year-old restaurant. I didn't expect that the Four Seas Medicine Manor only had a dozen years of history, but this restaurant has 100 years of history. For an ordinary person, 100 years was almost the end of their lifespan. Therefore, this century-old shop had an extremely high reputation among mortals. It even required several generations of inheritance to pass down this shop. That's because you didn't see the row of little kids at the side. Kuan Erasure said with a smile. Everyone took a closer look and realized that there was a small row of words beside the 100-year-old shop. It said that there were still 99 years left. This shop owner is really daring. You've got guts. 5 guests, please come in. Come in. A waiter hurriedly came out to greet him. Usually, very few people would come to this restaurant because the prices were relatively expensive. It was the most expensive place on the entire street. Only those who were truly powerful could come here to have a meal. Usually, they would only come to the Four Seas Medicine Manor when there were gatherings between the disciples of the large clans. What they had to do was to build a reputation, a brand. The few of them walked into the Four Seas Inn and realized that the decoration of the Four Seas Inn was indeed very unique. What would you like to eat? We have roasted lamb and beef from the Great Northwest, sweet and sour pork ribs from Jiangnan, Yuxiang shredded pork as manthus cake, hand-rolled skin specially flown in from Liangzhou. Just as the waiter was patiently introducing the dishes to them, a loud voice came from the door. "Waiter, our young master has booked the entire Four Seasons. Come out and receive your reward." Then, two burly men in white servant uniforms walked out. Their faces were fierce, and their chest muscles were very obvious. In addition, their clothes were more slim-fitting. The two muscular men appeared at the door and stood side by side, as though they were blocking the door. "This, two sirs, we already have guests here." The waiter looked a little embarrassed. After all, Li Zongjio and the others had arrived first. If they had booked the entire place before Li Zongjio had arrived, it would have been fine. But now, things were much more troublesome. Those who came were all guests. How could they chase away another group of guests just for one group of guests? If their lady boss found out, she would fly out and break the waiter's legs. "Hee, two sirs, we already have a group of guests here. How about this? Look at the alliance rooms on the top floor. They are all on that floor. Booking them is equivalent to booking the entire place. What do you think?" The other waiter, who was a qualified teaching elder, hurriedly came forward to welcome them. He also explained the situation at hand. "Are you muddle-headed or blind? Our Zhao clan's young master is hosting a banquet. Don't talk about guests. What flies or rats? If I see even one of them, I'll tear down your inn." It seemed like it wasn't the first time the two burly men had done something like this. Lan Kuan, who was standing by the side, immediately roared at the two people at the door when he saw the waiter's troubled expression. "You two muscular men can get lost. Your uncle Kuan Erisher has booked this place." Kuan Erisher patted his chest and said, "The most annoying thing was this kind of person who bullied others with power and money. Wasn't it just money?" Kuan Erisher was a young master from Kuan Castle. Moreover, when he went to ask for money for Li Zongjio that day, he knew how rich Li Zongjio's family was. Even if he couldn't take out the money, with Li Zongjio here, there wouldn't be a problem. The two burly men heard Kuan Arashi's provocation. The two of them didn't watch any alchemy competition, and didn't know that these people in front of them were genius alchemists from Heavenly Star Medicine Manor. They only saw a group of young people who dared to speak so arrogantly. By the looks of it, they should be the disciples of some family in the city. However, it was one thing in Royal City, and another in the Four Seas Medicine Manor. In the Four Seas Medicine Manor, there was no doubt that the four great families were the strongest. And the Zhao family was one of the four great families. The young master of the Zhao family had specially booked this place. If you didn't agree, you wouldn't be able to stay here any longer. "Oh, a tough bone has come." The two burly men looked at each other, as if discussing who should go up first. Then, the other man walked up without saying a word. "It seems like you don't know what kind of existence the Zhao family is." Shueihua saw that the other party was about to attack, and quickly shouted, "What are you guys trying to do? How dare you attack? If you dare to come over, I'll call for help." However, when Li Zongjio looked at Shueiyu's appearance, he wasn't afraid at all. He was clearly rejoicing in Shueiyu's misfortune. Moreover, looking at his appearance, he seemed to be very keen on sowing discord, afraid that Shueiyu wouldn't make a move. Finally, the burly man rushed up and threw a punch at Kuan Arashi's head. Whoosh! The whistling sound of the wind caused a piercing pain in the ears of those who heard it. Then, Kuan Erisher blocked the other party's punch. Kuan Erisher clasped the other party's wrist with one hand. He looked at the other party with disdain. "You want to be a hooligan with this little strength?" Kuan Erisher snorted coldly. The burly man didn't expect that his punch, which could knock over a wild bull, couldn't even defeat the kid in front of him. He didn't believe it, and threw another punch at Kuan Arashi's head. Boom! Kuan Erisher clasped the other party's wrist and exerted force. With a thud, the burly man fell to the ground. "You're courting death." Seeing this scene, the other burly man rushed up to help. However, when he was halfway there, he was blocked by a figure. It was Mu Qingyan. Although Mu Qingyan looked gentle and refined, his moves were rather swift and fierce. With a shoulder throw, he threw the person who had rushed over out of the main entrance. Long Kuan also sent the person in front of him flying with a kick. Bang bang. Two heavy objects fell to the ground. In terms of fighting, Kuan Erishur and Mu Qingyan were never afraid. Kuan Erishur was a disciple of Kuan Castle. He was brave and good at fighting. Moreover, he was never afraid of trouble. No matter who the other party was, he would rush up with his fist. Mu Qingyan was even more so. He was born in a military family. Even if he didn't have the slightest bit of talent, his many years of training would definitely allow him to possess a certain level of fighting strength. Moreover, Mu Qingyan was also a Yuanli expert. With the strength of the two burly men, it was more than enough to deal with people from ordinary families. However, they just had to deal with these two people that they couldn't afford to offend. Why did they start fighting? What should we do? A waiter thought to himself. They were all scholars after all. How could there be such a violent incident? You can fight, but don't break anything. Otherwise, we will have to pay for it out of our own pockets. The waiters in the inn also rushed out. Even the chef in the kitchen who was waiting to cook also rushed out with his kitchen knife. He wanted to join in the fun. Shoo shoo shoo. What are you all doing here? You don't want your salary for this month? A fatty who looked like a manager walked out. When they saw this scene, their hearts tightened. These people weren't people to be trifled with. Hehe, you must be frightened. I am the manager here, Lai Fu. Lai Fu tidied up his clothes and walked to Li Zongjio and the others. At this moment, a voice came from the door. Lai Fu, your 4 season doesn't want to survive anymore, right? You even dare to hit my people. Chapter 409. A furious and insolent voice was heard. As for Lai Fu, he didn't panic as he listened. Xiao Wu, bring the guest to his seat first. Then, he turned around and walked towards a rich man who had just entered. Hey, isn't this young Master Zhao Jingxian? What brings you to our 4 season? Sorry for the inconvenience, Zhao Jingxian. The 4th young master of the Zhao family. He was the youngest in this generation of the Zhao family, and had 3 older sisters taking care of him. That was why he was incomparably arrogant. Now that Zhao Jingxian was about the same age, he pulled some strings, and was sent to the 4 Seas medicine manor to learn. In any case, he had to learn more skills. However, Zhao Jingxian had nothing to do in the 4 Seas medicine manor. Furthermore, he had formed his own clique. He only knew how to eat and drink with his friends. What he loved the most was to make brothers and friends. As long as he could make friends with someone, he would make friends with them. If he didn't make friends with anyone, he wouldn't be giving Zhao Jingxian any face. In any case, the Zhao family had an endless amount of money. It didn't matter how Zhao Jingxian squandered it. Now, he finally had the opportunity to invite a few heavyweights of the Purple Pill Academy. Since the other party gave him face, Zhao Jingxian naturally had to arrange this meal properly. The most luxurious and unique place in the 4 Seas commercial street was, of course, the 4 Seas Inn. Even if Zhao Jingxian had an endless amount of money, he wouldn't come to the 4 Seas Inn if he had nothing to do. That was because the prices of the 4 Seas Inn's menu were strange. Some of the prices were even sky-high. Basically, one order could break even for a year. However, Zhao Jingxian also seemed to have heard that the person behind the 4 Seas Inn was extremely powerful. Opening an inn was only to cultivate one's character. The real purpose wasn't to make money. Booking the entire place was actually the cheapest set meal. After booking the entire place, all the menu prices would be discounted. Hence, Zhao Jingxian ordered people to book the entire 4 Seas Inn. While they were walking, they saw 2 of his subordinates, who had gone to book the entire place, being thrown out. This action immediately infuriated Zhao Jingxian. Was there anyone in the 4 Seas medicine mansion who dared to make an enemy out of him? Today, I want to see which blind fool actually dares to throw out this young master's men. Hence, the furious Zhao Jingxian led his men and charged into the 4 Seas Inn, where they met Lai Fu, who welcomed them with a smile. Lai Fu was currently negotiating with Zhao Jingxian and the others. Li Zongjio and the others sat around a table, eating melon seeds and drinking tea. Here's the menu. Let's order first. Shueihua saw a bamboo scroll on the table. When she opened it, she discovered that it was a menu. Her interest was immediately piqued. It was said that the 10 inns could make any kind of dish. If one wanted to taste the delicacies of the East, South, West, and North, one only needed to visit the 4 Seas Inn. Anyway, from the looks of it, the people in front still needed to negotiate. Hence, she might as well order the dishes first. Let's order first. The people who came in seemed to be the people from the Purple Pill Academy. Li Zongjio glanced at them. Although Li Zongjio seemed to be indifferent, he would actually pay attention to some of his matters. He wouldn't act like a blockhead. 3 people walked in from the Purple Pill Academy: Meng Yu, Nie Tianhong, and Lu Zhao. Apart from them, there were also a few young people who were clearly in the same group. These young people were more or less wearing gold and silver. The wealth they inadvertently revealed was already very valuable. The jade ring on their fingers was different from ordinary jade. It was a jade stone that contained vitality. Even if it was only the size of a fingernail, it was still comparable to a house in Monarch City. Clearly, it was to be able to stand out among these people. They had no choice but to spend a lot of money. Nie Tianhong originally only wanted Zhao Jingxian to deal with these matters. Today they were guests. If Nie Tianhong had to deal with these matters, wouldn't it be putting the cart before the horse? Hence, Nie Tianhong and the others just stood at the side and chatted. However, suddenly, Nie Tianhong saw the person sitting at the table in the room from the corner of his eyes. There was an inexplicable sense of familiarity, as if he had seen him somewhere before. It's you. It's you. When Nie Wuhan saw Li Zongjio appear in front of him, he suddenly had an unbridled feeling. A wave of anger directly rushed to the top of his head. He roughly pushed the person in front of him away. He directly rushed towards Li Zongjio. Today's encounter is just right. I want to see who can save you. Let me see how hard your mouth is. Nie Tianhong roared and rushed towards Li Zongjio's fiery light. A flame lotus condensed in his palm. The moment this flame lotus appeared, it directly burned with an ominous light. Boom! A muffled sound was heard. When Nie Tianhong made his move, Kuan Erasure had already picked up the stool under his butt and threw it over. Brothers, let's fight it out with them. Kuan Erasure directly rushed up without hesitation and instantly wrestled with Nie Tianhong. Damn it, you actually dared to hit my friend. Beat them up. When Zhao Jingxian saw this scene, he immediately rolled up his sleeves, and a group of people immediately rushed up. Kuan Erasure alone blocked nearly 3 to 4 people in front of him. Of course, everyone was more civilized and didn't use yuan power. However, the strength of their attacks didn't decrease in the slightest. Mu Qingyun and Li Zongjio looked at each other, and the 2 of them also rushed up. With the addition of the 2, Kuan Erasure suddenly felt the pressure suddenly reduced. No matter how arrogant these people in front of him were, in front of fighting experts like Li Zongjio and Mu Qingyun, they naturally all fell to the ground. Bang bang! Li Zongjio directly grabbed a teapot on the table and smashed it on a person's head. Instantly blood spurted out. Mo Suli and Shuiyu both sat on the spot. If they had to take action in such a situation, it would be too shameful as men. You dare to hit my brother, you're courting death. When Zhao Jingxian saw that Li Zongjio actually exploded his friend's head, he immediately took out an iron rod from his bosom. This rod had barbs on it. If it hit a person's body, it would be enough to send their flesh flying and create dozens of bloody holes in their body. Moreover, this rod was made of an extremely hard metal. Even if it was used to chop some high-quality swords, there wouldn't be any problems. Although it was cruel, it wouldn't harm a person's life. Therefore, this was a necessary tool for street fights. Zhao Jingxian directly passed through the crowd and chopped down on Li Zongjio's head with the rod. At this moment, Li Zongjio was using his fist to punch the person whose head was exploded by him. Of course, he didn't use his full strength. Otherwise, this punch would really cause the head to explode. Clang! Zhao Jingshuan's iron rod smashed down and hit Li Zongjio's head. However, Li Zongjio didn't have any reaction. Instead, the rod in Zhao Jingshuan's hand was directly broken. Clang clang! With a crisp sound, the broken part directly flew out. It smashed on Zhao Jingshuan's head. Fuck, it really hurts. This was Zhao Jingshuan's last thought before he fainted. However, after Zhao Jingxian fainted, Li Zongjio didn't let Zhao Jingxian go. He directly grabbed him and threw him in the direction of the gate. Bang! Young master, oh my god, young master, why are you being thrown out? The two burly men at the gate had just gotten up when they saw their young master being thrown out. How could this be? Just as the burly man was about to go in and fight Li Zongjiu and the others, a large number of people were thrown out one by one. Bang bang! Bang bang! One by one they piled up. It was also very fair. No one used their yuan power. This was also the rule of the academy. If it escalated to the extent of using yuan power, then it would be a feud. It wasn't a simple feud, but a true life and death feud. This kind of feud couldn't be resolved so easily. It was even possible that it would directly implicate the family behind it. However, if everyone only used their fists, then the injuries on the body would recover in a short period of time. It wasn't considered a deep feud, and it was impossible to use the power of the family. After knocking someone down, as long as they didn't get up, then they wouldn't make a move. Li Zongjiu, you've got guts. Nie Tianheng pointed at Li Zongjiu and shouted. However, in the next second, he was directly lifted up by Kuan Erasure and thrown out. Lu Zhao also had the same ending. He was sent flying by Mu Qingyun's kick. Now there was only one person left who hadn't made a move, and that was Meng Yu. In Meng Yu's eyes, these people were just children fighting. It was simply boring to the extreme. Let's see how many necks you have that can withstand the blade's edge. A group of childish people. If you really have the ability, then come to my Qingyuan manor and have a look. Li Zongjiu, do you dare? Meng Yu sneered and said. Qingyuan manor's Meng Yu naturally had a background. Even Mu Qingyun and Kuan Arashi's background was slightly inferior. Qingyuan manor is nothing. And who do you think you are? Today I'll step on you. Tomorrow I'll step on your Qingyuan manor. Li Zongjiu naturally wasn't afraid. After saying that, he directly rushed out. With a punch, Meng Yu fell to the ground. Bang! He added another kick, and directly sent Meng Yu flying. Lan Kuan and Mu Qingyun stared at the scene with their mouths agape. The other party clearly hadn't finished speaking yet. Furthermore, the other party hadn't even made a move before he was thrown out. This outcome was indeed somewhat tragic. After moving for a while, Li Zongjiu also felt refreshed. This was the attitude that young people should have. If you can make a move, then don't force it. Manager Lai Fu, these things are broken. How much is it? Put it on my account. Mu Qingyun heroically said. As a disciple of a large family, Mu Qingyun usually followed the rules. But today when he fought, he felt a refreshing feeling of breaking through a taboo. Chapter 410. Looking at your skills, you're so refined. You probably don't get into fights often, right? Kuan Erasure and Mu Qingyun chatted. They didn't change places, and just sat at the table in the middle of the hall, ordering a table full of food and drinks. As they ate and drank, they chatted casually. Not often, not often. Mu Qingyun didn't expect that he would get into a fight today. Although he was born into a military family, the Mu family only had one disciple with alchemy talent, Mu Qingyun. Hence, he didn't even let Mu Qingyun participate in the daily training sessions. Usually, he was even more afraid that Mu Qingyun would get hurt. He really didn't expect to get into a fight today. The moves he used were the moves that his big brother taught him. At the very least, it was necessary to have self-defense skills. Fist and leg techniques were used to fake fights, and were different from origin techniques. There was still a difference in comparison. Let me tell you, I have experience in this. Don't be a coward in this kind of situation. You just need to know 2 moves. Right hook and escape. Boss is amazing. One look, and I can tell that he is very experienced. He actually used his head to block someone's club. If it wasn't for Boss's powerful head, he would have been smashed open. Kuan Erasure said, and didn't forget to mock Li Zongjiu's move. In fact, Li Zongjiu had absolute confidence in his own head. Hence, he ignored the other party and used his head to block. There was nothing strange about it. You're amazing. Then tell me what happened to your face and eyes. Among the 3, Kuan Erasure seemed to be the most hated. Hence, most of the firepower was directed at Kuan Arashi's body. His eyes and face were swollen. Although the internal injuries had been removed, the external injuries would still require a certain amount of time. Only after the external injuries had dissipated would they be completely healed. Through repeated training, he would be able to become even stronger. Hence, Kuan Erasure didn't use his origin force to heal them, and just let them be swollen. The people outside the door didn't come in anymore. Clearly, they knew that they were at a disadvantage and felt embarrassed. They had already sneaked away. Mu Qingyan, you mustn't learn from him. You're already ugly. Now that you've been beaten into a pig's head, you've become even uglier. Shuiyu said with a smile. Even Mo Suli couldn't help but laugh out loud when he saw Kuan Arashi's comical appearance. How miserable. What are you talking about? Didn't you see how powerful I was when I fought against 5 people by myself? Kuan Erasure was instantly enraged. Could it be that he didn't see his incomparably heroic performance just now? I saw it. You're the fiercest, okay? Li Zongjio said with a smile. Let's go. They clinked their cups and drank it all in one gulp. Even Mo Suli specially drank a cup with Li Zongjio. This made Mu Qingyan extremely envious. After eating and drinking to their fill, Lai Fu handed over the bill. Excuse me, who's paying? I'll do it. Over here. I'll fight with whoever tries to snatch it from me. Kuan Erasure was slightly drunk. He drank quite a bit of wine tonight. Needless to say, the alcohol was really strong. However, when Kuan Erasure saw the bill that Lai Fu handed over, he was so shocked that his heart stopped for a moment. Fuck, this isn't right. Why is it so expensive? You're robbing me. Customer, don't worry. We've definitely marked the price clearly. This is the price after a 30% discount. Lai Fu's eyes narrowed into slits from smiling. Tonight, he had opened 6 bottles of the drunken immortal wine that cost 10,000 purple yuan per bottle. How could he not be happy? These disciples were truly incomparably generous. In addition to the tables and chairs that were damaged during the fight, these exquisite dishes made from the freshest elemental beast meat were all worth more than 200 purple yuan. Even with a 30% discount, you still need 6,700,000 gold yuan. Are you eating or robbing? Find your boss for me. If he had to eat 6 million gold yuan in a single meal, then wouldn't he be beaten to death by his parents when he returned? This was truly too terrifying. It's 8,700,000, and there's also 2 million as the reservation fee. At this moment, Kuan Erasure looked at the smile on Lai Fu's face and had the urge to knock out all of Lai Fu's teeth. I'll do it. We've already agreed that this meal is on me. Mo Suli waved his hand. He directly paid 10 purple yuan diamonds. Purple yuan diamonds were made from purple yuan coins. 1 purple yuan diamond was equivalent to 10,000 purple yuan coins. 10 purple yuan diamonds were equivalent to 10,000 purple yuan coins. Converted to gold yuan, 10 million was more than enough. Take the rest as a tip. Who would have thought that Mo Suli, who was usually incomparably cold, would be so generous without the slightest bit of hesitation? Ayaya, you see, this is your fault. Fine, I won't give you face. Next time, you're not allowed to snatch from me. None of you are allowed to snatch from me. Do you hear me? Li Zongjio and the others were extremely calm as they watched Kuan Erasure put on a show by himself. It was clear that he was stingy. He was already an alchemist who was about to break through to the 5th grade. Yet he was still stingy like this. However, if alchemists were to talk about earning money, then alchemists were indeed quick to earn money. However, when it came to spending money, not many people could compare to the speed at which alchemists spent money. Any 5th grade medicinal ingredient had an unlimited value. Li Zongjio and the others returned to their rooms. Li Zongjio, who had returned to his room, sat in front of the window and enjoyed the breeze. Before the clan's blood disaster in his previous life, Li Zongjio's personality was extremely cheerful and kind, and he also liked to make friends. However, later on, he realized that everything around him was filled with hypocrisy. Later on, the blood feud caused Li Zongjio to become cold and ruthless. There were even many things that he should have had back then, that he had never experienced. Now that I've been reborn, all the more I can't waste it. When Li Zongjio thought of this, he felt that the tense state in his body finally relaxed. The Bai Shen Fu that he had bitterly recited day and night suddenly appeared in his mind at this moment. Boom! The mental energy in his mind spread out like a storm at this moment. Boom! Li Zhongjiu's mental energy instantly spread out in the four seas medicine manner, as if it was covering the sky and earth. Origin Ancestor Realm. 9th grade mental energy. This time, his mental energy seemed to reverberate between heaven and earth for a long time. When all of his mental energy returned to Li Zhongjiu's body, Li Zhongjiu immediately felt the change in his strength. It was actually so terrifying. 9th grade Origin Ancestor Realm. It's not too late. Li Zhongjiu swallowed 2 5-soul essence elixirs at the same time, rapidly increasing his yuan power cultivation. After breaking through the limits of his mental energy realm, then, the increase of his yuan power realm was a simple matter for Li Zhongjiu. Chapter 411. After a night of cultivation, under Li Zhongjiu's forceful infusion of yuan power, he had successfully reached the 9th grade Origin Ancestor Realm. He was still a step away from the pinnacle of the realm. However, Li Zhongjiu was most satisfied with the breakthrough of his mental state. His cultivation state could be said to have improved by leaps and bounds. For someone to be able to achieve such a breakthrough last night, the vast flying knife must have contributed greatly. If it wasn't for the vast flying knife that carried Li Zhongjiu's mental state around the four seas medicine manor, Li Zhongjiu would have needed a certain amount of time and accumulation to achieve a breakthrough. Kuan Erishur and the rest had also woken up from their dreams. Although Emosuli and Shuiyu had both been defeated, their relationship had improved after the meal last night. Since they were going to compete, they naturally had to support Li Zhongjiu and the rest. I'm afraid that those guys have prepared their trump cards today. Last night, they had even beaten up those two. This time, the other party would definitely use all their trump cards, and even use all their strength to eliminate Li Zhongjiu and the rest. That way he would feel carefree. What are you afraid of? There are 3 of us, Mu Qingyan said. Mu Qingyan said. However, as the disciples of Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, they naturally wouldn't let it go so easily. This time they had to take down the top 3 positions. When the 5 of them gathered and arrived at the waiting area, they immediately saw Yang Xuelin's ashen face. In any case, Yang Xuelin was a top beauty in their batch. However, the wrinkles on her face were increasing day by day. In addition, the anger in her heart was extremely strong. Every day, she felt like a stuffy furnace that never released the anger in her heart. If this continued, she would naturally age faster. This morning, Yang Xuelin even realized that she had lost a lot of hair. As a girl, her hair was practically her second life. How could she endure such torture? However, the reason for all this was because of the 5 brats in front of her. No, it was 3. Good morning, teacher. When Kuan Erishur saw Yang Xuelin's expression, he knew something was wrong. Amosuli and Shuewa walked to the side as if nothing had happened. After bowing to Yang Xuelin, they sat down and looked at Li Zhongjiu and the other 2, as if they were waiting to watch a good show. Yesterday it was the 3 of them who were fighting in the inn. In Yang Xuelin's eyes, Emosuli and Shuiyu, the 2 girls, couldn't possibly have anything to do with this fight. Therefore, the most important personnel were the 3 in front of him. The 3 of you are quite capable. Yang Xuelin's gaze was like a sharp knife, slicing through the 3 of them one by one. Li Zhongjiu was thick-skinned. With more than 3,000 years of experience, he still managed to maintain a calm expression under such heated gazes. But the other 2 were like people who were caught red-handed doing something wrong. If anything goes wrong in today's competition, the 3 of you will pack up and get lost. Obviously, Yang Xuelin was really angry. They actually dared to find someone to fight before the competition. Although both sides didn't make a big deal out of it, it directly deepened the hatred between the Purple Pill Academy and the Heavenly Dawn Medicine Hall. Originally, the Purple Pill Academy was very unconvinced. Now that something like this had happened, how could they be at peace with the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor? The conflict between the 2 great academies would inevitably deepen. This kind of situation was unpredictable. Now, Yang Xuelin didn't hope for any good progress. After all, it was an exchange. Although Yang Xuelin herself didn't like the Purple Pill Academy, she still needed to do some work on the surface. Teacher, don't worry, hehe. Kuan Erishur immediately said, "If I can't win against those cowards, I, Kuan Erishur, will cut off my head." "You are really naughty." Yang Xuelin acted as if she was about to attack. Kuan Erishur also repeatedly surrendered. In the end, Yang Xuelin's face was still stiff. She said to the three people in front of her, "In these few days of competition, both sides will be immersed in flames to refine pills. A Yuan rune formation has already been carved in the arena. This Yuan rune formation was personally carved by the disciple of the Xianqing Mountains Master Xianqing. I don't know how strong it is. You guys can experience it for yourselves. You guys have to pay attention. During the process of refining pills, you are not allowed to interfere with each other." Yang Xuelin pointed out the crux of the matter. Interference was allowed. In that case, those bastards on the other side would definitely attack. As such, they would be under threat from 3 different directions. In reality, the Yuan pattern array itself was already under pressure. If one was the slightest bit careless, it could even directly burn one's medicinal cauldron until nothing was left. There was also the situation within their own medicinal cauldron. The effects inside and outside of the Yuan rune formation were completely different. If these effects appeared, it would have an incalculable impact on the medicinal cauldron. Then there was the opponent's sneak attack. Controlling the flame was the basic skill of an alchemist. Therefore, this would definitely be a battle of fire techniques. In order to protect our academy's reputation, before the opponent interferes, you are not allowed to take the initiative to attack. Do you understand? Yang Xuelin said solemnly. This was a very important matter. If they were to take action at this time, even if they won in the end, they might be left behind as a topic of ridicule. For Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, not only did they need strength, but they also needed moral integrity. If they didn't have moral integrity, then it would be difficult for them to be trusted by everyone. Don't worry. Kuan Erishur patted his chest and said, "They will definitely take action." On this side, Yang Xuelin was explaining some of the requirements of this competition. On the other hand, Purple Pill Academy's side was already filled with killing intent. Pairs of angry eyes stared at Heavenly Star Medicine Manor's side. The 3 of them want to refine pills. Humph. This time, no matter what method we use, we must take the victory. As long as we take the 1st and 3rd place, they will be crippled. Arrogant words. The 1st place is ours. The 2nd place will not be theirs. Not only do I want to win, I want to win by force. Meng Yu said in a deep voice. Yesterday's humiliation, as well as the humiliation from the slap, he must take it all back today. As for Nie Tianhong, it was needless to say. Now, the outside world was gradually spreading the news that Nie Tianhong was the illegitimate son of Pill King Nantian. How could Nie Tianhong face others in the future? It could even be said that he had no face left. And the person who brought all this to him was Li Zhongjiu, that lunatic who was full of nonsense. Yesterday's battle was not what they were good at. Their real home ground was on this alchemy platform, in front of the cauldron. When they stepped on this alchemy platform, they must show these people who was the real king. They must be convinced. Just you wait, Li Zhongjiu. I will tear your mouth apart in front of everyone. Nie Tianhong made a vicious wish in his heart. If he couldn't get rid of Li Zhongjiu, then he Nie Tianhong would eat shit. On the grandstand, Jiang Biyuan looked at Qi Yanran, who was sitting beside him, with surprise in his eyes. Oh my god, am I hallucinating? Why are you here? Don't you like peace and quiet the most? Obviously, Jiang Biyuan was also extremely surprised by Qi Yanran's appearance. He couldn't believe his eyes. You talk too much, Qi Yanran said lightly. Originally, Qi Yanran never appeared in public places. She even rarely participated in some of the examinations of the academy. Even if there were some really important examinations, she would come in a hurry and leave after the examination. She would not stay for long at all, as if she would never stop her footsteps. She was obsessed with cultivation. The Qi family and the Jiang family were family friends, so the relationship between Jiang Biyuan and Qi Yanran was also good. It's that bastard, it's those dogs who beat me. A person on the grandstand suddenly screamed excitedly. He pointed at Kuan Erishur and others who were walking on the alchemy platform and shouted, Zhao Jingxian covered his face and shouted loudly. He had obviously taken the anti-inflammatory medicine, but the swelling on his face had not disappeared. He didn't expect these people to be the disciples of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor. Even if they were the disciples of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, there was nothing great about it. Since you came to my Four Seas Medicine Manor, I will definitely get you back. Some of the young masters beside Zhao Jingxian also had a bad image. Some of them who were more shameless also wore hats as a cover. They recalled that there were nearly a dozen of them yesterday, but they were all defeated by the other party. When they woke up, they didn't have the face to continue looking for trouble. Since they lost, they could only wait until later to settle the score. But the problem was that they didn't know who the group of people last night were. It seemed that they should be the enemies of the Purple Pill Academy. However, those three people left early after being beaten. It seemed that they were very shameless and couldn't afford to lose face. Moreover, the scene was chaotic yesterday. The only thing that could be seen clearly was the fist that fell on the body. Now that he saw these people, Zhao Jingxian suddenly became excited. Damn it, I want to kill these people. I lost last time. Call more people later. I want to cripple these brats. I want them to be afraid when they hear my name. Chapter 412. On the alchemy platform, the 5 positions had already been arranged. Coincidentally, the 5 trigger points of the Yuan rune array were the places where the power was the most concentrated. At these points, they would also bear the strongest power of the Yuan rune array. The Yuan rune array that you are sitting on is called the Noon Flame Sky Burning Array. During the process, the Yuan rune array's power will continuously increase. The Yuan rune array has a total of 5 levels, and it will be released according to the strength of the pills that you are refining. What you need to do is not only to refine pills in the Yuan rune array, but also to use the aura of your pills to stimulate the Yuan rune array to a stronger state. This time, the designated pill is the Earth Cypress Wood Pill. Earth Cypress Wood Pill. Among the 4th grade pills, the Wood Attribute Pill was the most powerful. It could be considered as a classic pill that stood at the top of the list. Not only did they have to go through the Burning Sky Burning Array, they also had to refine pills with conflicting attributes. This kind of proposition made people speechless. These people really had a lot of tricks up their sleeves. But the more it was like this, the more challenging it was. All the herbs and cauldrons were provided by the Four Seas Medicine Manor. Both parties took their seats according to the 5 elements equivalents. It was similar to a circle. For example, sitting beside Li Zhongjie was Kuan Erisher. Beside Kuan Erisher was Mu Qingyan. Beside Mu Qingyan was Meng Yu and Nie Tianhong. Beside Nie Tianhong was Li Zhongjie. Mu Qingyan and Meng Yu were extremely close to each other, so the threat they faced was naturally greater. The 5 of them sat on a praying mat, inspecting the cauldrons in front of them and the herbs in their hands. Li Zhongjie, today, I will let you know what regret is. Nie Tianhong coldly stared at Li Zhongjie and said, those 2 slaps and yesterday's grudge, I will take it one by one. And you too, I will show you what is called trash. You dare to call yourselves alchemists? Meng Yu also stared at Li Zhongjie, as if he wanted to stare a hole in Li Zhongjie's body. Hearing his words, Li Zhongjie raised his head slightly. Judging by your tone, it seems like you still have a chance of winning if the 2 of us fight against the 3 of us. Li Zhongjie smiled coldly, his smile revealing a sinister look. Before today, Li Zhongjie was quite polite. As long as you didn't provoke him, he would let it go. But now it was different. If Li Zhongjie didn't like you, he would come and mess with you. Both sides, are you ready? We'll set up the formation in 3 breaths. The elder of the Four Seas Medicine Manor reminded. Then he left the alchemy platform. Today's alchemy competition could be considered as an extreme alchemy method. Refining alchemy in such an extreme environment was also a great test for alchemists. If one was not an experienced alchemist, then it was very likely that they would be disturbed by the aura from the outside world. Even the herbs in the medicinal cauldron in their hands would not be greatly affected. If they couldn't protect the medicinal cauldron in their hands, it was very likely that it would bring harm to themselves. The 5 of them were also fully focused on the medicinal cauldron in front of them. Although the open and covert struggles among them were also important, the most important thing at the moment was to successfully refine this medicinal pill. That was the most important thing. Not only did they have to win, they had to win beautifully. However, within the Yuan rune array, a terrifying flame immediately bloomed. It engulfed Li Zhongjio and the others. Boom! When the energy surged in, the 5 of them instantly felt as if they had fallen into magma. The audience outside could also clearly see a wave of energy surging out. Even if they were far away, they still felt as if they were deep in a furnace. This was outside the heat isolation array. If they were to directly face the heat, it was likely that many of the young alchemists present would not be able to withstand such a powerful heat. The blazing energy caused everyone to be at a loss of what to do. The person in charge of the formation was also extremely cautious. Azi had already told them before the start that if anyone was unable to endure, they could raise their hand to signal. That way, the Yuan rune formation would be shut down. Right now the first level of heat was attacking them. In the arena, the only ones who were calm and unaffected were Li Zhongjio and Mengyu. From this point, it could be seen that Mengyu and Li Zhongjio's level was slightly higher than the rest. Even Kuan Erasure could not catch up to them. However, the other 3 were not ordinary people either. Very quickly, under such a powerful energy, they stabilized themselves and unleashed a Yuan power shield around their bodies. In this situation where they were distracted by their Yuan power, they still had to unleash enough energy to heat the medicinal cauldron in front of them. The temperature in this Yuan rune array is like being in a furnace for refining a first-grade elixir. Under such a temperature, even elixirs can be refined, let alone humans. This is only the first level. I don't know who can trigger the second level of heat. Jiang Biyuan said. The temperature of the second level was equivalent to the temperature of the cauldron used to refine a second-grade medicinal pill. If these people could bravely step out of the Yuan rune array under such power, it meant that their Yuan power had undergone the tempering of a second-grade elixir. It could be considered as very powerful. Senior brother Jiang, which level can you activate? A student curiously asked. Jiang Biyuan also smiled. His face could not help but reveal a proud smile. Not much, not much. He was actually using the strength of his physical body to resist the terrifying power of the Yuan rune formation. At first, some people couldn't believe it and thought that they had seen wrongly. However, more and more people also discovered this strange thing. Their faces were full of shock. How could this be? This guy has a terrifying strength. Even Mo Suli's eyes widened. In the Purple Pill Institute, there was one person who was shocked by Li Zhongjio's performance. This person's physical strength is so strong. Shu's eyes burst out with an incredible light. At this moment, when he saw the aura released by Li Zhongjio's body, he seemed to have found a way and a chance of survival. This is my chance. Shu's eyes stared at Li Zhongjio. Chapter 413. Li Zhongjio's movements were as smooth as flowing water, as though he was not affected by the surrounding flames at all. Instead, he was using the power of the Yuan pattern array to refine pills. For an alchemist, these flames were a form of external interference and were not produced by the alchemist. Therefore, they could not be used to refine pills, and they could even destroy the pills if they were not careful. If that happened, they would be in big trouble. However, Li Zhongjio was using the temperature of the external flames to help refine his own herbs. The current temperature is still a little low. Continue to increase it. Li Zhongjio let out a low growl. He actually took the initiative to activate the Yuan power flame, immediately activating the power of the surrounding Yuan rune array. In an instant, the temperature reached the 3rd level of the flame. Wah! Oh my god! The flame surrounding Li Zhongjio had already turned purple in color. The previous 2 levels were red, but now it had turned purple, which was even more shocking. Seeing that Li Zhongjio's flame had reached the 3rd level, it meant that Li Zhongjio's strength was stronger than theirs. Nie Tianhong did not dare to show any weakness, and took the lead to reach the 2nd level. Kuan Erishur and Mu Qinyan were also chasing after him. However, anyone could see that Nie Tianhong alone was enough to stop Kuan Erishur and Mu Qinyan. This was a duel, but the other duel was between Li Zongjiu and Meng Yu. The current temperature in the array is enough to refine a third-grade spiritual herb. Even an Origin Ancestor Realm expert can only last for half an hour. If this continues, Li Zongjiu will be in danger. Seeing that Li Zongjiu did not care about his life, the three women in the array were shocked. Seeing such madness, the three women in the waiting area started to worry. What should we do? You won't be burned to death, right? Shueihua couldn't help but be nervous. If Li Zongjiu was burned to death, then who would help her cure the disease? Although 1 billion purple yuan seemed like an astronomical figure, as long as Shueihua continued to work hard to save up, she would be able to borrow money from everywhere. The premise was that Li Zongjiu didn't suddenly die. They won't. No matter what, they can't just watch as Li Zongjiu is burned to death here. The Four Seas Medicine Manor won't do that. Yang Xuelin answered seriously, and Mo Suli looked at the two people in front of him in shock. Are you too serious? You actually asked such a question, and one of you even answered it seriously. You want to chase after me? Let me help you then. Li Zongjiu's gaze suddenly fell on Nie Tianhong. Nie Tianhong was stunned. What was the meaning of this brat's gaze? Although Nie Tianhong wanted to deal with Li Zongjiu, he still needed to refine the elixir before he could free himself to kill Li Zongjiu. However, Li Zongjiu didn't seem to want to continue waiting. Li Zongjiu formed a seal with his hands. He patted the medicine cauldron in front of him. An ray of light flew out from the medicine cauldron and fell into Nie Tianhong's medicine cauldron. Then, the pool of medicinal liquid that Li Zongjiu had painstakingly refined appeared in Nie Tianhong's medicine cauldron. What are you doing? Nie Tianhong suddenly roared. One must know that everyone only had one set of medicinal ingredients. If the medicinal liquid that Li Zongjiu had painstakingly refined was in his medicine cauldron, then all of Li Zongjiu's previous efforts would be useless. Although this might destroy Nie Tianhong's elixir refinement, as long as he had enough experience, he could easily get rid of the impurities. You want to exchange one for another? Dream on. While Nie Tianhong was sneering, he also saw Li Zongjiu's expression as though his scheme had succeeded. Nie Tianhong, be careful. Meng Yu shouted. Only then did Nie Tianhong become vigilant. When the medicinal liquid merged into the medicine cauldron, the temperature around Nie Tianhong's body instantly rose explosively. A large amount of heat poured into the medicine cauldron in front of Nie Tianhong. Shit! The sudden rise in temperature seemed to have caught Nie Tianhong off guard, causing him to panic. Not only did he not have to increase the output of his yuan power to resist the invasion of the external temperature, but he also had to control the temperature within the medicine cauldron. If the temperature was too high, then it would directly destroy the medicinal ingredients and directly refine the dregs of the medicine cauldron. Nie Tianhong first stabilized his yuan power, but neglected the medicine cauldron in front of him. Moreover, the rising temperature within the medicine cauldron almost scalded Nie Tianhong's hand to the point of peeling off. It appeared with a burst of black smoke. Boom! Meng Yu also freed one of his hands and slapped Nie Tianhong's medicine cauldron, causing the temperature within the medicine cauldron to drop. Under the cooperation of the two, they seemed to have blocked Li Zongjiu's sneak attack. You dare to sneak attack me? You're courting death. After such a situation was resolved, Nie Tianhong was furious. He had always been the one to sneak attack others. He did not expect that today he would be provoked by Li Zongjiu. Nie Tianhong immediately summoned his yuan spirit, the Dark Moon Inferno Fox. When the huge Dark Moon Inferno Fox appeared, it immediately bared its teeth towards Li Zongjiu's direction. Oh, he's about to make a move. Kuan Erishur also let out a sharp laugh. He actually summoned his yuan spirit in front of so many people. Kuan Erishur would not be polite. If they were to compete with yuan spirits, then he, Kuan Erishur, had never been afraid of anyone. However, before Kuan Erishur could summon his yuan spirit, Li Zongjiu released the seal in his hand. Boom! A huge sound exploded from the medicine cauldron in front of Nie Tianhong. The medicine cauldron in front of Nie Tianhong flipped a dozen times, flew into the sky, and then fell down with a swoosh. Bang! Nie Tianhong was also carrying the Dark Moon Inferno Fox, and his entire body was being held back by a powerful flame energy. The Dark Moon Inferno Fox appeared early, so it was able to block this move in time. 4th level. Li Zhongjio used the Yuan incantation to control the Yuan rune array under him, and directly blasted the Yuan rune array's power towards the opponent. The power that suddenly appeared also directly blasted the Dark Moon Inferno Fox, and Nie Tianhong away. The Dark Moon Inferno Fox screamed, as if it was seriously injured by the flame. Seeing Nie Tianhong being blasted out of the Yuan rune array, and falling to the ground, spitting out blood, the spectators all exclaimed. This was the Pill King's personal disciple. Since he was blasted out like this, it naturally meant that he was eliminated. He directly took 1 point. In this way, the Purple Pill Institute had already been determined to fail. Even if the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor only took 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place, they could still take 1st place. However, looking at the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor's attitude, it didn't seem to be just like this. Li Zhongjio instantly killed the noisy Nie Tianhong, and in the next second, his gaze landed on Mengyu. Li Zhongjio didn't put a mere Nie Tianhong in his eyes. After that guy was blasted out, Zhang Kuang, who was at the side, hurriedly asked people to bring Nie Tianhong down. However, he discovered that Nie Tianhong's body was actually seriously injured. A person who could do such a vicious thing. Li Zhongjio, you actually dared to do such a thing. Zhang Kuang pointed at Li Zhongjio on the alchemy platform and roared. Teacher Zhang, please mind your words. Don't use words carelessly, Yang Xuelin said indifferently. As a teacher of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, she naturally had to protect the interests of her students. This mere Zhang Kuang actually dared to say that Li Zhongjio did such a thing. Defeating him head-on, and doing such a thing were two completely different things. The Heavenly Star Medicine Manor has a lot of tricks up their sleeves. Zhang Kuang will definitely not let this go. So what if you won't let this go? Yang Xuelin said disdainfully, her eyebrows slightly raised. She looked at Zhang Kuang with an extremely contemptuous gaze. Who hasn't been arrogant before? What's there to be arrogant about? What's more, with Yang Xuelin's identity, she might not be afraid of you. Don't put your identity in the wrong place. What an arrogant attitude. Yang Xuelin, do you think that with the Yang family's protection, you can? Aren't you overestimating yourself? You're just a mere Zhang Kuang. There's no need for the Yang family to take action. Yang Xuelin's tone was indifferent, and her aura was not arrogant at all. Zhang Kuang was choked by her words. He was furious, but he couldn't do anything now. He could only wave his sleeve, and ask someone to bring Nie Tianhong away for treatment. When the Nantian Elixir King comes to the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor to question you, I hope you can still handle it. Even if the Nantian Elixir King wants to enter the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, he has to report it. Shuiyi said. This arrogant and conceited fellow always thought that he was number 1 in the world. Of course, she had to teach him a lesson. Anyway, if something were to happen, the entire Heavenly Dawn Medicine Manor would be there to support him. Even a little girl dared to jump out and oppose him. This made Zhang Kuang even angrier. Chapter 414. Even Zhang Kuang, who was as domineering as a dragon, facing the women of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, he still had no room to fight back. In terms of quarreling, he was naturally not as good as these people. Just you wait. These stinky women. I will make you pay the price one by one. Zhang Kuang couldn't wait to immediately take action. He wanted to put the people in front of him on the ground, and use the world's strongest flame to roast them into a pile of cooked meat. Only then would he be able to eliminate the hatred in his heart. The battle on the stage continued. Seeing that Li Zhongjio had dealt with Nie Tianhong, Mengyu also started to think. Mengyu also had some thoughts as he looked at Mu Qingyan beside him. No matter what, he had to win back this point first. Mu Qingyan also saw Mengyu's gaze and became slightly worried. However, on the surface she still maintained a stable posture. At the same time, she stabilized her own state and used the most stable state to deal with the next change. Li Zhongjiu's medicine cauldron shouldn't have been empty, but in fact, Li Zhongjiu's medicinal liquid hadn't been thrown out. Instead, it had remained in the medicinal cauldron. The liquid that had flown into Nie Tianhong's medicinal cauldron was nothing more than a flame. If one didn't have enough eyesight, they wouldn't be able to see the changes in the medicine liquid. And Zhang Kuang saw it. Therefore, in Zhang Kuang's eyes, Li Zhongjiu was clearly playing tricks. He secretly used tricks to frame Nie Tianhong, which was why Nie Tianhong lost. Yang Shui, Lindsay, and the others naturally saw it. However, they naturally stood on Li Zhongjiu's side and tried their best to protect Li Zhongjiu's interests. After Li Zhongjiu had dealt with Nie Tianhong, Kuan Erasure did not summon his original spirit. After all, Kuan Arashi's original spirit was also good at fighting. If it appeared, it could easily deal with Nie Tianhong. However, it would also easily expose his original spirit. Meng Yu suddenly shouted in a low voice. He condensed the power of flames around his body and blasted it towards Mu Qingyan. Mu Qingyan sensed Meng Yu's movement. Although he was prepared, he was still intimidated by this terrifying flame. Boom! However, before the flame could reach Meng Yu, it was blocked by a fire wall. The might of a level 4 flame was extremely fierce, and Li Zhongjiu was able to easily burn down the flame released by Meng Yu and assimilate it, causing Meng Yu's flame to lose its might. Mu Qingyan breathed a sigh of relief. Just as he was about to thank Li Zhongjiu, he heard a loud sound coming from Kuan Arashi's position. The medicinal cauldron in front of Kuan Erasure was directly sent flying dozens of meters into the air. Upon seeing this, Kuan Erasure immediately released his yuan power. Like an invisible giant hand, he grabbed his medicinal cauldron back. The elixir within the medicinal cauldron was nearly destroyed. Damn it! I almost died. The temperature within the medicinal cauldron had already become chaotic. Long Kuan had to increase the output of his yuan power before he was able to suppress the chaotic energy within the medicinal cauldron. Otherwise, if the chaos continued, the medicinal liquid that he had painstakingly refined would be destroyed in an instant. Currently, there was still a portion of the medicinal ingredients that had not been completely refined. Now that he was attacked by his opponent, Kuan Arashi's heart was in a bad mood. Li Zhongjiu was expressionless. Meng Yu's move was naturally nothing in front of Li Zhongjiu. In fact, Li Zhongjiu had already seen through his opponent's intentions, but he purposely let him have his way this time. Otherwise, how could Meng Yu's confidence increase and become even bolder? You are only SOSO. I thought you were more omnipotent. Meng Yu laughed heartily. Among the three of them, Meng Yu originally thought that only Li Zhongjiu would be able to contend against him and hold on for a while. But now, it seemed that these people were completely useless. Meng Yu had only used a small trick to cause his opponent to be flustered. Next, the few of you will show me what it means to be an expert. All of a sudden, Meng Yu released his mental power. Like a vast giant net, it immediately covered Li Zhongjiu, Mu Qingyan, and Kuan Arashi's medicinal cauldrons. The mental energy seemed to have become a bridge that linked the three medicinal cauldrons. Then, the power of these three people was directly absorbed into Meng Yu's medicinal cauldron. What a strong mental energy! Mu Qingyan's heart was suddenly shocked. Outside his medicinal cauldron, there was a force that was resisting, preventing his yuan power from being transmitted into the medicinal cauldron. If he forcefully broke through, the medicinal liquid within the medicinal cauldron would definitely be damaged. Therefore, Mu Qingyan and Kuan Erasure did not dare to act rashly. Not good. This is Meng Yu's mental energy. It's actually so strong that he can use the mental energy bridge. Seeing this scene, Yang Xuelin suddenly said, Meng Yu's mental energy was too strong. Therefore, even some of the onlookers could see the emergence of the mental energy. Around the mental energy, they could even see the flames flowing and diffusing. Meng Yu's mental energy has already reached the 4th level. Emosuli was also extremely shocked. The cultivation of mental strength was also a high-level course for alchemists. It required enough time and energy to deal with it. But after all, one had to first grasp the medicinal theory. If one wanted to raise their mental energy, it would require a large amount of time. Moreover, Cultivation was something that one should not bite off more than they could chew. Even Emosuli's mental energy was only at the 3rd level. The realm of the 3rd level had not reached the 4th level. Even refining ordinary elixirs did not require the use of mental energy. Even with Emosuli's talent, he was only at this realm. Mengyu had actually reached the 4th level. Just by relying on mental energy, he could kill a Yuan Zong expert without even moving his hands. This Mengyu is indeed from the Qingyuan Manor. There are many experts in the Qingyuan Manor, crouching tigers and hidden dragons. The strength of Mengyu's mental energy shows that his relationship with the Qingyuan Manor is not shallow. Seeing this, Su Hong's eyes were filled with astonishment. Obviously, even Su Hong did not expect that Mengyu's mental energy had already reached such a realm. Moreover, he could already use mental energy as a bridge to plunder the power of other people's cauldrons. Therefore, no matter how hard they tried to refine their cauldrons, they were only making a wedding dress for others. Li Zhongjiu, aren't you very capable? Today, in front of everyone, I will collect the debt from before. Immediately, the power of the Sea of Fire within the Yuan inscription array rolled. Mengyu actually split out another strand of mental energy and used this strand of mental energy to condense into a flaming palm. Suddenly, he slapped towards Li Zhongjiu's face. This was a slap to Li Zhongjiu's face in front of tens of thousands of people. Being able to have such thoughts was naturally an act of courting death. Before the flaming palm could land on Li Zhongjiu's body, it had completely disappeared. Obviously, it had been directly weakened by a force. What? Mengyu was shocked. Looking at Li Zhongjiu's calm appearance, it seemed that he was not worried that his cauldron would be taken away. With just you, I'm afraid that you will never be able to avenge yourself. Li Zhongjiu said indifferently. Mengyu seemed to have thought of something. When he looked at Li Zhongjiu, his gaze fell on Li Zhongjiu's eyes. There seemed to be an illusory flying knife rushing towards Mengyu. It directly pierced into Mengyu's body. Mengyu was so scared that he cried out in alarm. However, when he recovered, he found that there was nothing wrong with his body. Mental energy. It actually caused me to hallucinate. Mengyu recalled the previous situation. Li Zhongjiu must have used some kind of trick to scare Mengyu. The surrounding audience suddenly cried out in alarm. At this moment, Mengyu suddenly woke up. When he looked at his cauldron, Mengyu was completely shocked. How is this possible? The mental energy bridge that Mengyu had built before. Originally, the mental energy bridge was used to absorb the medicinal liquid from the 3 people's cauldrons. However, at this moment, the mental energy bridge was flowing in reverse. Originally, the 3 people's cauldrons were absorbing the medicinal liquid from the 3 people's cauldrons under the mental energy bridge. However, at this moment, Mengyu's cauldron was flowing energy back to the 3 people's cauldrons through the mental energy bridge. Originally, he wanted to fight 1 against 3, but now, it seems that it was just wishful thinking. With just this level of mental energy, in front of Li Zhongjiu, there was nothing to be arrogant about. My mental energy, why can't I control it? Mengyu suddenly felt that his mental energy was trapped by a very strong force. As a result, Mengyu had no way to mobilize this energy, and could only watch as the energy in his cauldron was completely divided up. And the one who caused all of this to happen was this annoying Li Zhongjiu. Give me back my medicinal liquid. Give me back my mental energy. Mengyu immediately became furious. I'll give it back to you. Then I'll give it back to you. Immediately, in front of Li Zhongjiu, flames instantly formed into an axe. As the axe rotated, it directly chopped down on the mental energy bridge. Boom! The axe fiercely chopped down, causing Mengyu to spit out a mouthful of blood. Puff! The cauldron in front of Mengyu, because the energy was too chaotic, and Mengyu's spiritual energy trembled, it directly exploded with a boom. Mengyu was directly sent flying. Bang! He heavily fell to the ground. Not only was his body severely injured, but even his mental energy was also severely damaged. Once his mental energy was damaged, the price he would have to pay to recover it would be extraordinarily frightening. Chapter 415. When Zhang Kuang saw that Mengyu had gained the upper hand, He wanted to show off a little and taunt Yang Xuelin and the others. However, when he saw that Meng Yu was also sent flying off the stage, Zhang Kuang didn't expect such a miserable situation. As their biggest trump card, he was actually killed so easily. Didn't this mean that the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor had become a one-man show? The moment Meng Yu fell off the stage, Li Zongjio and the other two became the pride of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor. This was a scene that could be described as a true hero, no matter how many opponents you sent out. The Heavenly Star Medicine Manor was also in the top 3. The King's Academy's attitude was also fully displayed, and no one could say anything about it. With the 4 Seas Medicine Manor's strength, it would take them at least 20 years to catch up to the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor. Jiang Biyuan suddenly understood when he saw this scene. Just Li Zongjio's generation alone was enough to take the top spot and occupy the glory for a long time. This was a problem that couldn't be solved from the root. That was because the Heavenly Stellar Medicine Manor was also a big deal in this continent. However, after the Heavenly Stellar Medicine Manor's reputation had spread, the Heavenly Stellar Medicine Manor had become more low-key. Otherwise, the continent would be filled with news about the Heavenly Stellar Medicine Manor. How could it be the 4 Seas Medicine Manor's turn to stand out? In the eyes of the crowd, the 3 figures sitting on the alchemy platform were the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor's declaration to the world. One must know that the 3 of them were only new students of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor this year. If they were so strong as new students, it would mean that they were already very strong when they entered the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor. However, it was also because of this that they chose to enter the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor. Moreover, the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor was able to choose them from the many people who signed up. It was a kind of appreciation between experts. The 2 of you can go through a trial. However, I'm afraid that I won't be able to refine the elixir. Mu Qingyan smiled bitterly. When Meng Yu was absorbing the essence, he focused on Mu Qingyan. Therefore, Mu Qingyan's alchemy cauldron was in a mess. He didn't even know what the ingredients of the essence were, and it was already insufficient to refine the elixir. Mu Qingyan immediately calmed down his alchemy cauldron. At the same time, the Yuan rune array under him slowly dissipated. He retreated off the stage safe and sound. Meng Yu was quite powerful. Even when he was already dead, he still managed to drag Mu Qingyan down. However, in front of Li Zongjio, he was an opponent who could be easily. Only Li Zongjio and Lan Kuan were left on the battlefield. Lan Kuan glanced at Li Zongjio. Heavenly Star Medicine Sect, said Heavenly Rosely to be honest. Kuan Erisher grinned. There was a feeling of bravery in his eyes. Although he knew that there was a gap between him and Li Zongjio, Kuan Erisher didn't care. Previously, he had already seen how powerful Li Zongjio's Yuan rune was. This time, he wanted to see how powerful Li Zongjio's alchemy was. Hearing Kuan Arashi's words, the corners of Li Zongjio's mouth twitched. In terms of alchemy, you are still far from it. As Li Zongjio's voice faded, he slammed his palm on the alchemy cauldron in front of him. Instantly, the alchemy cauldron shattered. However, the surrounding flames quickly filled up the gap and built the alchemy cauldron in front of Li Zongjio. It was all condensed from the power of the flames. A fire cauldron. Obviously, the material of the cauldron could no longer satisfy Li Zongjio's requirements. However, controlling this flame to condense into such a large medicinal cauldron was also a matter that consumed a lot of energy. When the fire cauldron appeared, the fire elemental mark under it actually strengthened on its own. Strange. Why is the power of this Yuan rune formation becoming stronger by itself? Its power is constantly increasing. Someone noticed that the Yuan rune array was supposed to sense itself, but now it was being raised on its own. Either Li Zongjio did something, or the elder controlling the Yuan rune array did something. The elder in front of the Yuan rune formation was also shocked. Damn, it has nothing to do with me. It's that brat who activated the power of the Yuan inscription formation. The elder hurriedly said when he saw the situation. Otherwise, others would think that he had been bribed to cause trouble. Wouldn't that ruin his reputation? How did that brat do it? If it continues to grow, it will reach the 5th level. 5th level flames. Even a Yuan monarch elite would find it difficult to withstand it for 15 minutes. Even Su Hong and the others who were on the high platform straightened up their bodies. It wouldn't be a big deal if it was just to stand out. However, Li Zongjio had directly activated the 5th level flames. This proved that Li Zongjio's potential wasn't as simple as just being a student. Even some of the elders of the Four Seas Medicine Manor might not be able to withstand this 5th level flames. Furthermore, it was impossible for him to refine a water-based elixir under such a tyrannical external force. Li Zongjio is actually using all the power for his own use. An elder shouted as he pointed at Li Zongjio. Although this was impolite behavior, he couldn't help but shout out his discovery when he saw the power flowing in Li Zongjio's body. When everyone heard this, they took a closer look. Sure enough, they saw that the sudden increase in the power of the flames didn't affect Li Zongjio at all. Instead, it was all channeled into the fire cauldron in front of him. This caused the power of the fire cauldron to increase continuously. Li Zongjio's body actually didn't receive any damage, which was even more shocking. This kind of power control was really terrifying. Kuan Erishur watched Li Zongjio's operation. Although he was also trying his best to catch up, Kuan Erishur chose to give up in the face of Li Zongjio's strength. He really didn't have the courage to chase after Li Zongjio, as the latter was completely different. However, Kuan Arashi's results were also not bad. Under the 4th level flame, he successfully refined the elixir. Kuan Erishur didn't leave the field, but controlled the elixir in front of him to immerse it in the cauldron. At the same time, he was able to observe Li Zongjio's aura more closely. Li Zongjio was seriously refining the medicinal liquid in the fire cauldron. Li Zongjio's power had even reached the pinnacle of purity. However, Li Zongjio did not stop there. The flames were boiling. The medicinal liquid was also constantly boiling. The temperature is so high. What is he trying to do? Some people could even see that the medicinal liquid was about to be unable to withstand the high temperature and was gradually evaporating. However, the fire cauldron was also a sealed space, and there was nowhere to escape. All the medicinal liquid has been purified and cooled down after evaporation. However, the temperature in the fire cauldron is exploding. How can the medicinal liquid vaporize and cool down again? Qi Yanran saw Li Zongjio's actions. In the current alchemy environment, this method could be considered as one of the more advanced ones. However, very few people could use it in such an occasion. After all, if there was even the slightest injury, they would lose a great opportunity to participate in the competition. How could they prepare for such a risk? Participating in the competition was a serious action. Everyone was on tenterhooks to ensure that nothing would go wrong. However, Li Zongjio acted as if nothing had happened and used this method to treat this competition as an experiment. What Qi Yanran didn't know was that in their eyes, this was an experiment. But for Li Zongjio, it was already a walk in the park, a walk in the park. In the previous round, with your strength, you were able to trigger the pill lightning. However, in the end, you were still a little lacking. Today, you should feel the pill lightning, and then see what you lack. Li Zongjio said indifferently. Hearing Li Zongjio's words, Kuan Arashi's eyes almost popped out. What did he mean? Was he trying to trigger the pill lightning? Just as Li Zongjio's voice fell, a dull thunderous intent rose in the sky. The clear sky suddenly changed. Light fell, and everyone felt as if a shadow was shrouding their heads. Soon dark clouds gathered again. Thunder clouds again. Li Zongjio also triggered the pill lightning. Pill lightning. Damn it. Didn't they say that only pills that surpassed the complete realm could trigger the pill lightning? Could it be that the first years of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor are all monsters? With Zhang Kuang's help and Meng Yu's recovery ability, although he was seriously injured, Meng Yu quickly woke up. Li Zongjio. The intense pain that came from all over his body made Zhang Kuang want to kill Li Zongjio. Not only did he suffer internal injuries, his mental strength was also severely injured, causing Meng Yu to be in extreme pain. However, when Meng Yu opened his eyes and saw the pill lightning that Li Zongjio had triggered, he immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. Pill lightning. That. As if he was angry that Li Zongjio had actually triggered the pill lightning, Mengyu spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted again. Mengyu, pull yourself together, Zhang Kuang anxiously shouted. Chapter 416. Thunderclouds filled the sky. At this moment, one could clearly see that there were thick bolts of lightning brewing within the thunderclouds. From time to time, electric sparks would sweep across the sky. At this moment, the black clouds were pressing down extremely low. Everyone at the scene, and even the people in the Four Seas Medicine Mansion, could clearly feel the heavy weight of the dark clouds. There was always a strong sense of oppression. It's actually pill lightning. Li Zongjio has attracted pill lightning. What a strong will. In the face of such a strong will, I'm afraid that even our Medicine Manor's defensive array will not be able to withstand it. The appearance of the pill lightnings will cause all the alchemists present to be shocked. Just the power of the pill lightning alone was enough to shatter everything in this world. Even if it was not enough, it would still be more than enough to shatter the Four Herb Mountains. Everyone could not help but be shocked. At the same time, their hearts were also extremely shaken. Pill lightning. He has actually attracted pill lightning. Qi Yanran and Jiang Biyuan both raised their heads and looked up. Even geniuses like them still felt weak and powerless in front of this pill lightning. They already had such a feeling in the face of the pill lightning that was attracted by others. If they were the ones who attracted the pill lightning, would they not tremble in fear under this pill lightning? From this, one could see just how terrifying the gap between them and Li Zongjio was. It was not a difference in the grade of the pills that they had refined, but a true difference in cultivation realm. In the entire Heavenly Dawn Medicine Manor, there are no more than 5 people who can attract pill lightning. This Li Zongjio really has some tricks up his sleeve. When Yang Xuelin saw that Li Zongjio had summoned pill lightning, her expression changed. Her expression immediately changed. In the past, he thought that Li Zongjio was very arrogant, and even wanted to find an opportunity to teach him a lesson. However, after seeing Li Zongjio summon the pill lightning, he completely changed his view of Li Zongjio. It wasn't just the people from the Four Seas Medicine Manor. In the distant Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, and even the Imperial Palace, there were a few people who were looking at the condensed pill lightning in the sky. As long as one was a Yuan King elite, they could clearly feel the power of the pill lightning. Four Seas Medicine Manor? Could it be that little girl named Qi Yanran? Within the palace, an old man wearing a long white robe stood in the courtyard. He looked in the direction where the pill lightning had appeared, and calculated its location with his fingers. That's not right. That girl is still far from it. Recently, the 3 great medicine manors are holding a competition to concoct medicine. From the looks of it, it should be someone from the 3 great medicine manors. Is it Mengyu from the Qingyuan Manor, or the disciple of the Southern Heaven Pill King, Nie Tianhong? Or has another monstrous genius appeared in the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor? Clearly, the old man in white robes was very familiar with the alchemy geniuses in the city. However, based on his understanding, he also knew that given the strength of these people, it was impossible for them to summon the pill lightning. Within the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, in front of the Genius Tower, a man in an alchemist's robe had just walked out of the Genius Tower, and coincidentally saw the appearance of the pill lightning. Oh, I have only been in seclusion for half a year, and a genius who can summon the pill lightning has actually appeared in the Four Seas Medicine Manor? Not to mention the students. Even if an instructor came, it would not be easy to trigger the pill lightning. Senior Brother Gua, you have come out of seclusion? A student who was passing by was shocked when he saw the man in front of him. He immediately became excited when he saw Senior Brother Gua. Senior Brother Gua was so excited that he was almost speechless. After all, Senior Brother Gua was ranked 4th on the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor's Alchemy Master ranking. In addition to his young and handsome appearance, Senior Brother Gua had also become the object of admiration in the hearts of many female students. Moreover, Senior Brother Gua was born with humble roots. After he developed such a powerful alchemy talent, he became humble and peaceful, giving people the demeanor of a disciple of a great family. He had also become the role model of the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor many times. The Alchemy Master ranking was only a comprehensive ranking. It did not represent absolute strength. Senior brother Gua's Alchemy Realm had already passed the Heavenly Pill Pavilion's Grade 5 Beginner Alchemy Master ranking half a year ago. Now that he had come out of seclusion, he might have continued to make breakthroughs. The reason why Senior Brother Guo was so famous was because of his amazing talent. 2 years ago, when he entered the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor, he was only a Grade 2 beginner alchemist. However, in these 2 years, he had directly leaped to become a Grade 5 alchemist. How could this terrifying leap not cause people to be shocked, envious, and respectful? Greetings, junior brothers. I am in a hurry to find Vice Dean Qidan. Farewell. Guasi cupped his hands and said, then turned and left. So polite. Strong but not arrogant. If it were other senior brothers, their noses would probably be raised to the sky. The students were extremely impressed by Guasi's polite behavior. This was how his reputation spread. That's right. I've heard that this year's freshmen are simply a bunch of thorns. Especially the leader, the one surnamed Li. He only has a little talent, but he's already so arrogant. Such a person will be dealt with sooner or later. If senior brother Guo meets him, he will definitely teach him how to behave in a minute. These people gathered together and said one after another. Obviously, they had already complained about Li Zhongjio and the others. The reason why they hated Li Zhongjio so much was that his talent was too strong, and he was rude to them. If Li Zhongjio heard these words, he would definitely kick them one by one and teach them how to behave. 4C's Medicine Manor. On the field, Li Zhongjio had already become a one-man show. Everyone's eyes were focused on Li Zhongjio. It was obviously a competition, but it had become a one-man show. Only Li Zhongjio could do this. After all, these so-called geniuses were just a pile of trash in his eyes. The thundercloud is very strong. I wonder how many bolts of pill lightning will fall. Kuan Erishur stared at the pill lightning cloud in the sky without blinking. Suddenly, the boiling power had condensed to the extreme. At this moment, there was a sudden rumble, and it fell directly on Li Zhongjio. Boom! The pill lightning was covered in fire, with a hint of purple in the green. There seemed to be a lightning snake hidden within. As it fell, it had an aura that could destroy everything. Go! Li Zhongjio did not retreat in the face of the pill lightning. Instead, he slapped the pill and pushed it forward. If it was an ordinary person, they would definitely use some powerful yuan tools to block the attacks unleashed by the other party and block the pill lightning. After all, the pill lightning was used to destroy the medicinal pill. Only after the medicinal pill withstood the pill lightning would it be safe and sound. If an elixir were to face such a terrifying pill lightning, it would naturally be smashed into pieces. Therefore, alchemists would usually block it themselves in order to protect their pills. Li Zhongjio's move was clearly to give the pill away. Is Li Zhongjio crazy? He is actually using a pill to block the power of the lightning. Countless people had such a thought in their minds at the same time. However, the next scene disappointed everyone. With a boom, the pill lightning struck the black pill. The thunderbolt energy that exploded out in an instant almost shattered the elixir into pieces. Shattering into pieces was not enough to describe it. Countless small fragments were directly smashed into smithereens. However, although the pill was shattered, it did not dissipate. However, it didn't scatter with the wind. Many people couldn't see it clearly, because the lightning was too powerful. It was too fast. However, Kuan Erishur could see it clearly. In Kuan Arashi's eyes, he could clearly see that although the pill was shattered and seemed to have lost its vitality in an instant, it was able to use the attraction between the lightning and the lightning to form an inextricable connection. At the moment when the pill was shattered, it instantly gathered its power again, using lightning to quench the pill. Kuan Arashi's eyes widened. He had only seen such a high-level technique in books. It was rumored that some alchemists in the ancient times were able to achieve such a level, using the power of all things in the world to quench the pill. The more powerful it was, the more thorough the quenching of the pill would be. A bolt of lightning flashed past. Not only did it not shatter the pill, but it also purified the pill in an instant. Many people could not believe their eyes when they saw such a scene. How could such a situation happen? How could a mere pill withstand the power of the lightning? However, the scene in front of them was actually able to withstand it. It was beyond everyone's expectations. Although Yang Xuelin had confidence in Li Zongjio, she could not help but break out in a cold sweat when she saw Li Zongjio using such a risky method to quench the pill. This kid is playing us to death. Yang Xuelin could not wait to pull Li Zongjio off the stage and give him a good beating. How dare he scare them like this? However, after the first bolt of lightning, the thunderclouds did not dissipate. One could see that the power seemed to be brewing a second bolt of lightning. If such a bolt of lightning continued to fall, the pill would definitely shatter. Li Zongjio also reached out to grab the pill. The pill gradually sank in Li Zongjio's hand. However, the bolt of lightning would directly strike Li Zongjio. If he did not let go of the pill, the bolt of lightning would not admit that he was innocent. Let go of the pill. Kuan Erasure roared. However, as soon as he shouted, he saw the bolt of lightning falling from the sky. The power of the bolt of lightning was more than 10 times stronger than before. Boom! Chapter 417. Kuan Erasure wasn't the only one who sensed the danger. Even Su Hong, Sun Yu, and the rest could feel the terrifying aura. With Li Zongjio's strength, he definitely wouldn't be able to withstand the power of the lightning. Strike him to death. Strike him to death. Haha. Heaven will punish those who are despicable. Zhang Kuang burst into laughter when he saw this scene. His eyes were filled with pride. If he could directly strike Li Zongjio to death, the anger in his heart would dissipate. It would be best if Li Zongjio was directly struck to death by the lightning. At the very least, he would be severely injured. Zhang Kuang thought to himself, as the terrifying light engulfed everyone's eyes. They could see Li Zongjio being engulfed by the lightning. Boom! A violent explosion occurred on the alchemy platform. Kuan Erasure was blown away and landed heavily on the ground. Fortunately, he had a strong yuan power to protect his body. Otherwise, the aftershock would have been enough to cause him serious injuries. Fuck! Where's boss? After Lan Kuan stood up, he saw that the original pill refining platform was now churning with a thick white fog, which surged into the clouds. Seeing this situation, Lan Kuan's heart was filled with despair. No matter who it was, they would only end up with their bodies smashed to smithereens in the face of such terrifying lightning energy. Is he dead? Haha, it's good that he's dead. Zhang Kuang widened his eyes, as if he wanted to see the scene in the white fog. However, he couldn't see anything clearly. However, he could feel that there was no aura in the white fog. There was only one possibility. Li Zongjio had been crippled. Who would have thought that Li Zongming would be so arrogant that he would be killed by the lightning? It was really satisfying. When this bolt of lightning fell from the sky, the audience also stood up one after another, wanting to see what was going on. It can't be. Yang Xuelin did not dare to believe it in her heart. However, after waiting for a while, there was still no movement. Immediately, the elders of the Four Seas Medicine Manor prepared to step forward and disperse the white fog. The dust was also lifted and scattered in the air, blocking the view. At that moment, a figure walked out of the thick fog. He was completely unscathed. However, the insides of his shoes were smashed. Under the cover of the white fog, Li Zongjio took the time to change his clothes. However, he forgot to prepare a few more pairs of shoes. This time, he walked out in a pair of worn-out shoes. He's not dead. How is this possible? Zhang Kuang's eyes widened when he saw Li Zongjio walk out. How was this possible? He could actually withstand such a level of pill lightning? There were 2 levels of pill lightning. Pill lightning of this level was very powerful. If it really spread out, even a Yuan King elite would not be able to withstand it. How did Li Zongjio withstand it? Could it be that Li Zongjio was a Yuan King elite? The audience at the scene saw this scene. Thunderous applause erupted from the originally silent venue at this moment. Cheers and applause filled the air. This was because Li Zongjio's performance was really too shocking for them. From today onwards, Li Zongjio's name would resound in the 3 great academies, and even in the Heavenly Elixir Pavilion. Haha, good. Li Zongjio is really good. Even Su Hong laughed loudly and clapped his hands repeatedly. Regardless of the final outcome, just surviving the pill lightning was already a miracle in itself. It was enough to make Su Hong satisfied. Furthermore, the elixir that Li Zhongjio had refined was an elixir that surpassed the complete realm. I hereby announce that the champion of this exchange competition is Li Zhongjio from Tianshan Medicine Manor. Su Hong announced loudly, his voice reaching the ears of everyone present. Yang Xuelin was extremely excited. This was her first time leading a team. The fact that these young team members were able to display such powerful strength also made Yang Xuelin extremely surprised and pleasantly surprised. Although Sun Yu did not seem to have changed much, the glint in his eyes made it clear that he was now like an ascetic monk. Even Sun Yu's eyes were shining. It was obvious that he was very satisfied with Li Zhongjio's performance. Nie Tianhong also woke up from his coma. His injuries were slightly better, and his mind was not damaged. However, he could not move for a long time. As soon as he recovered his hearing, he heard Su Hong's voice in his ear. He did not even have time to take a breath before his head tilted to the side, and he fainted again. The entire audience was cheering for Li Zhongjio and Tianshan Medicine Manor's results. The strong would be worshipped by others, especially Li Zhongjio, who had easily defeated them in the aspect of alchemy. On the award ceremony stage, Li Zhongjio, Kuan Erishur, and Mu Qingyan were also rewarded. The top 3 were rewarded. In addition, there were also special rewards for Tianshan Medicine Manor. After all, as the champion of this competition, they had once again displayed their strength to these people. It also made the people of the Four Seas Medicine Manor know that there was still a huge gap between them and Tianshan Medicine Manor. As for the people of the Purple Pill Academy, they could only stand aside and watch. In such an occasion, they couldn't just leave as they wished. The 2 trump cards of the Purple Pill Academy had been turned into 2 useless cards in Li Zhongjio's hands. Li Zhongjio had easily defeated the 2 of them, although the Purple Pill Academy had suffered a heavy blow and was extremely unhappy. They still had to stand here and watch Li Zhongjio and the others take away the rewards. Congratulations to the 3 of you. Mu Qingyan, 3rd place in this year's competition. The Heavenly Pill Pavilion will reward you with a mid-grade 5 medicinal pill, the Kaiyuan Nature Pill. In addition, you will also receive an Elite Alchemist token, middle grade 5 elixir, Kaiyuan Creation Elixir. When everyone heard the name of the elixir, their eyes widened. One must know that the Kaiyuan Creation Elixir was a rare treasure for people who cultivated Yuan power. It could expand one's meridians and even raise one's original aptitude by a level. It had the legendary effect of cleansing one's body. For people who had yet to cultivate Yuan power, it had a heaven-defying effect. This effect could help purify one's Yuan power. For those who had yet to come into contact with Yuan power, this elixir was a sacred object. Some people from big clans would also let their descendants consume this elixir. However, there was only one person in the entire Sacred Flame Royal City who could refine this elixir. That person was one of the 3 deputy pavilion masters of the Heavenly Pill Pavilion, Chu Taishan. The strength of this deputy pavilion master Chu Taishan was also infinitely close to the strength of the Southern Heaven Elixir King. If the 2 of them were to compete, it was hard to say who would win. Thank you, my lord. Mu Qingyan was naturally happy. This was an elixir personally refined by Lord Chu Taishan. It was something that could not be bought in the market. Kuan Erishur, your performance in this competition is not bad. The Heavenly Pill Pavilion will reward you with a Book of All Creation and an Elite Alchemist token. Chapter 418. The Book of All Creation. Only now did everyone understand why the Heavenly Pill Pavilion did not list out all the rewards at the very beginning. However, there were still some insiders who had ways to obtain this information. The appearance of the Book of All Creation was just too shocking. Even Kuan Erishur was extremely excited, as the value of this Book of All Creation was equivalent to the formula of a grade 5 elixir pill. The Book of All Creation recorded everything. Just the material rewards alone would naturally make one happy. However, to Kuan Erishur and the others, Things like money were simply not worth their attention. The Shengyan dynasty had the ambition to rule the world, so they naturally had to have some understanding of all things. Every inch of land within their territory was also included in the Book of All Creation. However, the Book of All Creation that Qin Erasure had obtained only contained the medicinal ingredients section. However, it was also extremely precious. This was because the medicinal ingredients section of the Book of All Creation was combined with a large amount of ancient literature and information. Now 100 Grade 5 alchemists, each accompanied by a Yuan monarch elite, were also included. During this period of time, there were detailed records of the medicinal ingredients that could be produced by various departments of the Shengyan dynasty. It was also known as the most complete book. It was equivalent to an encyclopedia. This was the collection of the dynasty. What was circulated in the outside world were all deleted and castrated versions. There were even pirated versions. The Book of All Creation in his hands also gave off a heavy feeling. This was the foundation of a great nation. One had to have absolute strength to be able to calculate the contents of this book in one's hands. To some people, this book might not even be as good as an elixir pill. However, Qin Erasure was extremely fond of it. However, there was no sign of envy on Li Zhongjio's face. It was as if what Qin Erasure had received was just a piece of trash. What Book of All Creation? In fact, many things in this book had not been examined. Although it seemed to be quite authoritative in front of some scholars, it was just a piece of trash in front of Li Zhongjio. However, Qin Erasure was still delighted. He repeatedly pondered over this Book of All Creation. It's actually the Book of All Creation. TSK, TSK, TSK. The corners of Sun Yu's mouth curled up slightly as he smacked his lips continuously. His eyes shone brightly as he stared at the Book of All Creation in Qin Erashi's hands from afar. If not for the fact that Qin Erasure was a disciple of his Heavenly Star Medicine Hall and a teacher, it would not be right for him to kill and rob him. Sun Yu would definitely not let go of this opportunity. However, since Qin Erasure was his student, then he must find an opportunity to borrow this book and read it. This was something that many alchemists dreamed of. There were countless herbs recorded in it, and the pharmacology of some herbs was also recorded and analyzed in great detail. There were even some hidden attributes that were discovered. Li Zhongjio, your performance has greatly surprised me. This is an alchemist token bestowed by the imperial family. The holder of this token will be ranked 4th grade, and will be granted 3,000 mu of land, and 3,000 mercenaries. With a wave of Su Hong's hand, a female servant behind him presented a golden box. Within the box was a token. The 2 words Holy Flame were engraved on the token. Just these 2 words alone were enough to cause one to feel a searing heat. It was indeed worthy of being an item of the imperial family. With such majesty, an ordinary person would not be able to withstand this token. It's not easy to obtain the right to be bestowed by the royal emperor. With this medallion, other than being promoted, there will be countless geniuses challenging you. Even the members of the Royal Pill Pavilion in the Royal Palace would challenge you. Do you dare to accept this medallion? Su Hong said in a deep voice. At this moment, his body was releasing a solemn aura. He stared at Li Zhongjio. He wanted to see if Li Zhongjio could pick up this token. Even if Li Zhongjio could pick up this token, it was still unknown whether Li Zhongjio had the ability to keep this token. But obviously Su Hong worried too much. Li Zhongjio was not a young man who had not seen the world. He directly took the token and weighed it in his hand. It's actually made of fire essence gold. No wonder it's so extraordinary. Seeing Li Zhongjio easily take this token, Su Hong's eyes flashed with a trace of surprise. He nodded secretly. Sure enough, Su Hong did not let him down. As the first place winner, Li Zhongjio only received this token as a reward. However, the significance of this token was completely different. What was given to Li Zhongjio was supreme authority. Just like when Li Zhongjio was in Wuxia City, Shang Quan of the Northern Medicine Alliance wanted to force him. If it happened again, he would have to kneel down when he saw this token from afar. Holding this token had a great significance. In the Heavenly Elixir Pavilion, its status was equivalent to that of an elder in the General Pavilion. If it was in the Imperial Palace, Even some of the imperial alchemists would not dare to be presumptuous in front of Li Zhongjie. Even Li Zhongjie could use the identity brought by this token to casually fabricate a gimmick to enter the Heavenly Star Medicine Manor and conduct an interview. His status was equivalent to that of a deputy dean. In addition, he had the halo of the Xingyan dynasty's imperial family. With this token, even the state prefecture's governor would have to treat him with respect. No one would dare to offend an alchemist with unlimited potential. Even more so, no one dared to offend an alchemist who had walked into the eyes of the Xingyan dynasty's imperial family. Of course, such an honor would also attract the dissatisfaction of others. If Li Zhongjie did not directly fail to accept any challenges in the future, he would be left as a topic of ridicule. People would think that he was not qualified to hold this token. As an alchemist bestowed by the imperial family, he had the obligation to accept these challenges. As for the final outcome, it would depend on Li Zhongjie or the luck of those challengers. Since the mentors of the 3 great elixir palaces are here, I will use the name of the Heavenly Elixir Pavilion to announce a piece of news. The Heike dynasty and the Xingyan dynasty have established a friendly relationship. In order to celebrate and strengthen the communication and relations between the 2 dynasties, there will be a competition between alchemists in the spring of March next year. Those who are confident in winning glory for the dynasty, hurry up, Su Hong said in a clear voice. Competing with an alchemist from the Heike dynasty? Just thinking about it made people excited. The Heike dynasty and the Xingyan dynasty were only separated by a stretch of Blackwater forest. Since they were so close to each other, it was natural for them to establish a friendly relationship. Of course, if one of them became stronger one day, annexing the other party would not be a distant matter. Some of the systems of the Heike dynasty and the Xingyan dynasty were different. The Xingyan dynasty was an imperial system. One emperor dominated the world, and his aura shook the world. The Heike dynasty, on the other hand, was governed by a religious system. A single church controlled the entire dynasty, and the emperor was merely a puppet. The true power was held by the church behind the scenes. However, these were all things for later. As for the specifics, the Heike dynasty would also walk onto the stage of the Xingyan dynasty. Between the 2 dynasties, they had already begun to spit out their fangs to probe each other. However, for the ordinary people, these alchemists who had the talent for alchemy, but were not very powerful, they were naturally incomparably excited. This was because this was a stage for them to shine, participate in the competition, win the rewards, gain fame and fortune, and bring glory to their ancestors. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.